What happened?
That Twitter went up quick. Oh, this
On
color
a Tuesday?
pops.
Oh, wait, it's Thursday.
This color pops so lovely.
Does it? Can't see it. Maybe I should pull it up
Look on
again.
Twitter.
About to. I'm about to. It's my jam. But now that I'm officially an auntie, I start with warm it up, Chris, and then immediately my brain goes to warm it up, Kay, warm it up, Kay, warm it up, Kay, warm it up, Kay. Okay, I'm done.
All right. We are there.
I'm trying to find us the Chopping Block podcast. Oh, that is a good color.
Actual factuals. What's up, y'all? What's going on?
Come get some, you little bums. Oh, what a week it's been.
I feel like every week is like that now.
I feel like every week is a month. I don't know, yo, my nigga. It's like July and August were one long ass month, and then September never happened. I don't even understand what's going on here. I don't know how we woke up this morning and it was October 1st, but here we are, friends, countrymen.
Clearly, they knew that September was my birth month, and they wanted to get it out of here real quick.
Nah, you should have been able to turn up.
Oh, I turned up,
You
but
did. Oh
you
yeah,
know,
you did.
here we are, October 1st. Actually, yeah, October 1st. So back with another episode. Hope you
Back
guys,
at it.
hope y'all like the. All right, we got new colorway.
New
Hey,
colorway.
hey.
Exclusive. New shit. You remember?
Clue,
Okay,
clue,
I'm
clue,
done.
clue, clue.
Okay, now I'm done for real. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Hi guys.
Hey,
Hi Scissor.
hey,
215.
Ty.
Um, I'm sorry. Let me open my can away from here.
Saint the
My
boogiest. What you
the boogiest, the saintliest of boogies, or the
what you
boogiest
sipping
of
on over
saints.
there?
Yo, so let's talk sports real quick.
Oh, okay.
So once upon a time, I was a Florida girl. And when I lived in Florida, it seemed as though every team that I loved was a rival to the to the New York Knicks.
Right.
And so in 1990, I'm going to say five. I'm probably wrong. When the Heat and the Knicks were in the conference final, it might have been the conference semi.
That actually sounds pretty accurate because that was the year. It yeah that sounds accurate.
When Charlie Ward got flipped on his head, former
Charlie
Florida
Ward.
State
Holy
University
crap!
football slash basketball player got flipped on his head. And I, a proud hurricane, was very excited to see Charlie Ward get flipped on his head. Because, okay, so Charlie Ward, like the whole to go back, Charlie Ward was a point of contention in Florida because Charlie Ward is from Florida, if I'm not mistaken. And he was
Hmm.
debating between Miami and Florida State and he ended up going to Florida State. And it was like, fuck that nigga for life.
Right.
I'm sure you're a very kind gentleman, sir. Um, but at the time, that shit was very fresh. I mean, it was clearly not fresh because he was in the NBA, so he had
right.
gone through his whole college career, and then, but he got flipped on his head. I was very, very happy about it. That made me a Miami Heat fan for life. I'm talking Alonzo Mourning, Tim Hardaway fan, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking like
Those were
Udonis
glory
Haslem
years.
as a rookie fan,
Right.
right? I'm talking those years when I lived in New York and the Heat were trash and I could never catch a game on TV because the Heat were trash and nobody was televising that shit, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Along comes one LeBron James. I really feel like I need his middle name for this story, but I don't know LeBron's middle name. Along comes one LeBron James of Cleveland, Ohio, or wherever from Ohio he's from. Akron?
Akron.
Akron. Um, And so, now the Heat are like us. Like LeBron put a target on the Heat's back. And now, as a woman, no man wanted to believe that you were actually a Miami Heat fan. Like, you can't be. You're clearly a LeBron fan. That's who you are. Nigga, I'm the same person who like specifically hated the Bulls when they were winning, because it was like, all right, like once you've got 2 championships, like how many more do you need? Really? Right? Can somebody else even get a fair shake? So no, I was not a LeBron fan. I was a Heat fan, had been a Heat fan, was gonna be a Heat fan. LeBron left, and I was like, well, LeBron, I'm still a Heat fan. But then I was just like, yeah, I want a team that wins. And so I gave myself a what do they call it? Blackout period. Like, you leave one radio station, one city, you can't work at a competitor in the same market for like a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
I said I could not leave the Heat as a fan until 2 years after LeBron was gone.
Interesting.
I don't know who picked that number. I picked it on my own. Now he is far removed. He is 2 teams away.
Mm-hmm.
He is a whole different hairline into life. I think so I felt like it was fair for me to say, you know what, I'm not a Heat fan no more. And then here go these niggas in the fucking finals.
Yep, against LeBron.
Against LeBron, whooping their ass on game 1.
Raymond. LeBron Raymond James Sr.
What's his name?
LeBron Raymond James Sr.
Raymond, not Ramon.
Raymond.
God bless his hood ass mama.
Mm-hmm.
I love Mama James.
Mm-hmm.
That nigga name really is Raymond. Mm-hmm. Anyway, go Heat or whatever.
Well,
that was sports for me for the
week. Yeah. So that concludes our sports segment of today.
This has been brought to you by the letters E, S, P, and N.
There you go.
It really hasn't. No, but like for real, I really kind of like. I want a team. I need somebody to pick me a football team and pick me a basketball team.
I mean, you live in the city of Atlanta.
Nah, chill. We're not doing that. We not doing that. We not doing. Like, do you know that the Falcons just officially broke the record for like they're the only NFL team to lose a double-digit lead in the third quarter 2 back-to-back games in a regular season? Like, who even wants that record? Like, who even knew that was a thing?
Yeah. The Falcons are what one would say collapsible because they definitely fold like some nice chairs.
The Falcons are kind of the reason why I don't watch football for real anymore, or sports really. After that Super Bowl, I was like, yo, I get way too emotionally invested in these games, only for niggas to turn around and possibly lose.
They let the whole world outside of Boston down. Because we all were Falcons fans.
Right, because everybody wanted Boston to lose.
And it looked like it was going to happen. And we had the jokes ready. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, the Falcons happened.
And then pow, bang, boom, nothing.
Yeah, well,
You know what other fun sports factoid that happened today? Okay, for real. And after this, I'm done because I ain't got nothing else after this one. That happened this week.
I'm enjoying this, so keep it coming.
So, the Florida State class of 2021 football players are the first ever graduating class of football players at Florida State who have never beat the Miami Hurricanes in their whole college career.
Wow. Look at all these Florida facts. Y'all can tell where she's from?
Only when it comes to that.
A whole Floridian.
Shouts to Uncle Luke. Shouts to
hey.
Rest in peace, DJ Uncle Al.
Rest in peace, King of Diamonds.
Rest in peace. Oh man. Oh, you just reminded me Follies is gone.
Oh man, it is. Rest in peace to Follies. Okay, here's a good one. So, did you see they had a shootout at Cheetahs on my birthday, actually? September 6th, they had a shootout in front of Cheetahs.
I did hear that, yeah.
And it was some niggas from Miami. and they called his ass and extradited him to Atlanta. So you came to Atlanta
Yeah.
to have a shootout in the middle of Midtown,
Mm-hmm.
and you thought you was gonna get away with it, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
You went back
Because
home.
I feel like we had this conversation last week about how these kids don't seem to think that things really have consequences.
Clearly,
Like there's a guy currently on the run because he was in a car chase with APD or Georgia State Troopers, and he hit a car,
was
killed
that
an
last
8
night?
year old last night. And
Uh,
I saw, like, I drove past the scene. I drove past. They had
it was
Techwood
right over
blocked
Techwood.
off.
Yeah, he had. Oh, I saw that car. That car looked mangled, absolutely mangled. I don't know what's
And
up.
he's on a run. He took off on foot.
Yeah, well, uh, it's yes, you do dumb things. There are consequences in life,
And
and
that's all we're gonna say about Tory Lanez today.
absolutely.
I'm sorry.
All right, so welcome to the Chopping Block Podcast.
Welcome, welcome.
This is our 39th episode,
That's
or
our
is it our
40th.
40th?
That's 39th. Yeah, you're right.
Are we sure?
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I feel like last week was 39. Hold on. Let's look at these threads here. You know what this is called right here? This is called consistency, my nigga. I don't even know no more. This is the 40th. Y'all gotta fix this beautiful background that we got here.
We gotta fix this beautiful background.
Absolutely. Episode 40, 10 months.
Mikey, you know what to do.
We ain't skipped 1 week.
Drop it in the chat.
It's the first week of January.
So in the meantime, yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Wow.
10 months.
10 months. Committed. Shout out to everybody who's been riding with us. We got some true ride or dies out there.
We really do.
Tune in, check in on us, and show love.
Yes.
So definitely appreciate.
And surprise the hell out of me when they bring up shit that I say on the show in conversation.
Bruh.
Not showing up, say shit, and then keep it moving and forget that I said it.
Man. Yeah, I'm like, oh, y'all really be paying attention, huh? Because I just assume we just doing this for us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we just hanging out because I enjoy talking with Ty.
Yes.
And, you know, so we thank y'all for listening in. I actually did an interview on another podcast today.
You did?
Yeah, I did an interview with DJ Payne One and Dame of.
That's right. You did tell us that was happening.
Club. So that should be airing soon. Make sure you guys tap in. Shout out to BeatStars. Tap in with them and check me out on there. I was talking about some, producer shit, some business stuff. So yeah, that's always fun.
Producer shit. Proud of you out here.
I gotta shout out my homegirl Shauna Reed. I gotta shout out my homegirl Shauna Reed for my trap shirt. If you look in the mirror, this actually says trap forward. Right. So yeah.
So I feel like since this is episode 40 and we got the new colorway, we can address the fact that the Chopping Block podcast is its own entity now.
It is, absolutely.
Because our once and former parent entity is no more.
It's no more.
We're not the ones that made that decision, so we can't really give y'all no details as to why iStandardProducers.com is no longer an amazing run. Kudos to J Hatch and kudos to Don. Careers were born out of the iStandard brand. Connections were made. So a lot of great information was passed on. A lot of us, and to you as well, says like, I want to not include you in that shout out because you were there from the very beginning, but like you're here having this conversation. So
right.
But like we've all had some really amazing career moments, and even me, and even only in a year had amazing career moments that happened under that umbrella. So I will forever be grateful.
We went out with a bang. Miami was a beautiful experience. Oh man. That seems like it was 1,000 years ago.
It really does.
But that weekend was so fun.
It was exhausting.
Absolutely.
It was exhausting, and y'all did more than I did
Mm-hmm.
because I ducked off on these niggas so many times. Hey, y'all, by change I mean take a nap.
Because you gotta do that. You gotta find the time. So
Yes. So yeah. Don and J Hatch are still very much active, very much doing things. Shouts to J Hatch is out there still connecting dots via the creator plug.
Mm-hmm. Also, running the studio in New York, IMI Studios. So get with him if y'all want to work and do some things. They over there socially distancing, you know,
Right.
but they got plenty of space for y'all to come through and record if you're in New York City.
And if you know Hatch don't break up with people. Like, unless you did some real foul shit, you got a J Hatch for life. So,
Absolutely.
fuck with them. That's still a thing. If you fuck with us and you support us, that's still a thing. So yeah, so the Chopping Block podcast is its own thing. Sis and I are working to bring the actual Chopping Block reviews and some more content back to the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we have accepted that the world is whatever the fuck this is now. Yikes, what a year it's been. And yeah, so if you guys have ideas and things that you would like to see us do, things that we did on the other site that you'd like to see us bring back, holler at us. We're here on these interwebs.
And we have the new site at
The chopping block, the chopblockpod.com.
chopblockpod.com.
Yeah. I feel like
Yeah.
I want us to have like a good drop that goes the chopblockpod.com.
We need to get the dude from
Thorough horns at the end.
We need to get the homeboy from Trackademics. Damn, son.
Yes. But it needs thorough horns at the end.
Hey, there we go.
I need that.
Episode 40. Yeah, we in here.
Hey, wait, I gotta refresh.
No. Well, yeah, I don't know. It depends on where you're looking.
I'm looking at Twitter.
Yeah, we good. Give it a second.
They still says the Chopping Block Podcast, episode 30. It's fine. It's fine. Y'all know this is
episode. No, as soon as you give it a second, it's a little,
Oh, there's a delay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Today's episode is called Who You With. I wanted to call it Friend or Foe. That might have went over some of y'all heads.
Well, Who You With also makes me think of this pretty much the same era.
Yeah.
You know who I see? What's her name? Paula Jai White?
Mm-hmm.
From Sprung. Remember that movie?
I never watched that movie.
Oh, man. You gotta go watch Sprung.
I remember the movie, but I never watched it. Just like, what was the other one? Booty Call. I never watched Booty Call, but I owned the Booty Call soundtrack, which has the best Backstreet Boys song ever recorded on it.
Soundtracks back then were a moment in time. Like,
mm-hmm.
They were serious. Like, the Clumps soundtrack was crazy.
Right. Like, and that started with, that really kind of started with Waiting to Exhale.
Yeah. Yep. Shout out to Babyface. Waiting to Exhale was a monumental moment in soundtracks.
Mm-hmm. And then you go on to things like Love Jones. Like I've listened to the Love Jones soundtrack way more than I've watched the movie. And I would beg to say that the soundtrack has held up better. It's aged better than the movie.
Well, yeah, probably.
To somebody who watched it at 17 and then who's gonna watch it again at 40. Like, I know it's a lot of shit that I thought was sweet at 17 that's probably gonna irk the fuck out of me at 40. Like,
I'll tell you one of my favorite soundtracks also is Boomerang.
Yes, amazing. So I guess that was before Waiting to Exhale, right?
I think it was because Babyface did that one too. It might.
You know what? I take it all back. Batman. The Batman soundtrack that Prince did, that was the game changer.
Yeah.
That was the game changer.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, guys.
Batman had his own Prince theme song and the Joker and all that stuff. Yeah, that was lit.
Stop the presses. Who is this? Vicky Vale. Sorry. Okay. Yes, the episode is called it's called Who You With, aka The Friend of My Enemy. And aka hey guys, I don't give a fuck how many times your president denounced racism, he could do it one more time.
Well, yeah. Here's the thing. He never really denounced racism fully.
Thank
Every
you.
time, every time. And I remember when he was running and they asked him, CNN asked him, it was always with like a caveat. It was
Right.
always like, and then it got worse. But, the Charlottesville situation was really where it was like egregious. Like, fam, these dudes are in Brooks Brothers t-shirt. I mean, Brooks Brothers shirts with tiki torches, um, shouting out anti-Semitic shit,
Right.
and you're talking about some fine people on both sides. I don't care what you said after that. Okay, they were out there beating up people. Period.
Period.
Killed the young lady, who was out there, and it's literally been a shitstorm around the Trump name. Your campaign manager or your whatever his name, whatever he was, Steve Bannon is a white supremacist. Breitbart is a
Mm-hmm.
white supremacist um, website. Make no mistake about it. I don't care if anybody. It's not alt right. They are white supremacists.
Right.
Breitbart is aligned with Stormfront, except on Stormfront they just racist. Breitbart is the arm that tries to at least not be completely racist. Well, they're completely racist. They're just not angrily and egregiously racist. So they're trying to be PC racist. But yeah, that dude, man, fuck that dude. I
Fuck
think
that.
that was a moment for even some people who were thinking about supporting him. And it's sad that it took y'all that long and y'all had to go through that to realize this guy's been a racist his whole life.
He was
But
calling for people to go get the death penalty. Didn't he call them animals?
he did
Way
absolutely.
back in 87 in Central by 5. Like,
But
y'all.
guess
And here's the thing, he fooled us, right? He fooled us, and a lot of people in hip hop were complicit.
well, we
Um,
didn't know him. I'm not gonna. He
we
didn't
didn't know
fool me. I didn't
him.
know him. Like I.
Here's my thing though. I feel like Oprah and Russell Simmons knew him
Oh yeah.
enough
Right. Right.
to, and maybe they did check him in the moment when he checked them before he was this old man, grasping for straws and holding on to whatever little bit of whatever he feels like he has. Maybe they did check him
Right.
back then. Russell Simmons has a book called Do You that I got shortly, like right before all the allegations against Russell came out. And I kept looking at that book like, do I still read it? Because like Russell Simmons, you cannot take away that Russell Simmons was a brilliant business mind and did a lot for the culture, right? All the other shit notwithstanding. But then the intro to the book is written by Trump. And I'm just sitting there looking at this book like, I don't know, dog.
Yeah, I'm not fucking with that book. And I think it's kind of like the same conversation that we're having with music, right? A lot of niggas leveled up and start leading other niggas to the slaughter,
Mm-hmm.
right? Things get different when you're in that room and y'all talking about big money, right?
Right.
When you're in that room and it's about clout. Clout is not new. I know the kids want to think that they invented clout, but clout ain't new. Niggas have been clamoring for clout and white acceptance um, since we got off the slave ships.
I mean, niggas have been clamoring for clout and acceptance as long as mankind has been alive.
Well, niggas particularly from
Okay,
white people.
black people, not niggas, the universal
Right,
niggas,
right, but
everybody,
particularly
particularly black
black
people.
folks.
Okay, gotcha.
Colonialism on. You look at celebrities, and don't get me wrong. I don't have any problem with. I'm not even gonna say I don't have no problem. You know, I've dated and love all women, but I've never dated a woman to have as a trophy or a statue.
Right.
Right. I've dated women who I actually knew, who I grew up with, who we had actual, situations. It wasn't some weird fetish,
Mm.
or any of that stuff. But that exists a lot. That stuff's weird. you don't really realize how unnatural some of that stuff is till you realize like there are places where even now they're like, oh my god, you dated a white girl. And I'm like, what? They're like, oh my god, they're it's an interracial marriage. Like what? Like what year is this? Like I'm sorry, I grew up in a place where everybody lived together, and that stuff was pretty
Everybody.
normal. You
Yeah.
know, you might have gravitated back to your side once you realize that the world don't really like people intermixing as much as we did, but it wasn't that weird trophy thing. And a lot of people
Right.
pointed out when you see athletes and all these other people, right?
Right.
But I'm gonna pivot and say there was a guy, a producer, who called himself, was it the king of the white girls?
Now we not talking about that nigga. If
No,
we
no,
not
no,
talking
no,
about
no.
him,
We are absolutely
okay.
going to talk about that nigga.
Palau the Don.
Polau. We're going to talk about Polau the Don.
Palau the
And
Don.
the Atlanta
Oh
Coon
my
Circus.
god! What was this week, bro?
In the Atlanta Coon Circus, because Trump came to town and unveiled his platinum plan. First of all, this nigga called it the platinum. He might as well call it chicken wings. He might as well
Y'all
have
love
called it.
platinum though.
He might as well have called it strippers.
Everybody know. Anybody who knows niggas knows
Niggas
niggas
love
love
platinum.
platinum.
Oh, black people, platinum. You know they were sitting in the room. Somebody came up with that. Black people, yeah, that's called the platinum
Let's call it
plan.
gold. No, 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 no,
No, no,
no.
no. Let's call it platinum. Gotta call it the platinum plan.
They should have called it diamond, really, if they were smart.
So, yeah, but most niggas don't go diamond. So Polau the Don was there.
Y'all gotta understand that we're calling him that because he got a shout out from
right, and that's
from
that's
his
what he called him
president.
because
His
that's your
president
man,
didn't
but he
know
could
his
barely
name.
say your name. But so he's on his Instagram. He posts this video, this highlight reel of Trump with black people. It's like Rosa Parks and a bunch of rich niggas who actually a lot of them, are people that he did business with, like Mike Tyson. Clearly, they was fighting at Trump's casinos back then. You know, the one thing that has really been weird is Trump before we knew who Trump was a symbol of success. We all thought
Yeah,
Trump was successful. Like it
right.
was like, oh, okay, Trump Tower, like because we got used to seeing and being marketed to that the Trump name meant success. There are rappers and people
So
named
many
Trump and
songs
all these
referring to
different
the
things
Trump.
where people use his name as the metaphor for success.
Mm-hmm.
But please separate what we thought from who this fucker really is, because
Because even when we thought that he was that person, he was still not paying taxes
he
and
was
filing for
absolutely
bankruptcy
not
every
that
other
person.
year.
Now, mind you, Hillary said this shit to y'all. Everybody said this stuff to y'all. And he successfully denied it. He was the only person who wouldn't show his tax returns, and y'all didn't realize that that was a glaring red flag. They told y'all in 2015 that this man was not a billionaire. We
Mm-hmm.
knew that anyway because he didn't even own any of his properties. All those Trump properties, he was
Mm-hmm.
basically licensing the name.
Mm-hmm.
So even when he built the Trump Tower overseas, that was all somebody else's money. So The Apprentice is what really brought him into the now. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
The
Right.
Apprentice and the whole "you're fired" and the whole "Trump's a boss." Like that was manufactured. It might as well have been a fairy tale, but he got paid from that, and that along with his name regaining its status allowed him to basically fuck up more money,
Mm-hmm.
because that's really all Trump is good at. He's good at fucking up money. Everything that he's done is bankrupted, gone bad.
Mm.
Schools, steaks, airlines,
Mm.
you name it, casinos, you name it, he's ruined it. So the New York Times published a report saying that this man paid what, $750 in taxes.
$750 in taxes.
Now, mind you, this man was on social media laughing at Obama about what he paid and talking about what other people paid, and this fucker paid $750,
Seven
and
hundred
he's a racist.
dollars.
So with those two
He
things,
got more as a stimulus check than this man paid for his damn taxes.
but
Make it
hold up,
fucking
but he don't want to give us $600. He don't want to give people $600. Okay, the Trump train is officially derailed. Trump's gonna lose. I've
never the hope.
Trump has been off the rails for the last really off for the last year or so. And he's one of those guys. He doesn't handle pressure well. The more pressure you give him, the worse it gets. So The
So he's going to
debate.
end up. So ultimately, what you're saying is he's going to end up saying something to completely like he's going to go too far
Well, no, he's already gone there for most people, and
for a lot of us. There's still
and
people riding.
but here's the thing, right?
I saw it on Facebook today.
In 2016, we were comfortable because we had just come off of 8 years of Obama. Um, the Russian disinformation campaign really had us like looking at Hillary funny. Like we got to
Mhm.
realize all of a sudden there became this agenda to rub the Clintons' names through the mud. And
I mean,
I'm
they don't not deserve it, but that's not the
well,
point right now.
well, we'll get into that. But here's the thing, right? When you've been fed a narrative about somebody for so long, and then
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden somebody else feeds another narrative to you, and you run with that one, you're like
Mm-hmm.
chasing narratives. We have this society where we're like, we
Nobody
don't know
actually
these
knows
people.
anything, but we're gonna run with what we're being told.
Exactly. So we found out that Russia was behind that whole thing. So we weren't really excited about Hillary. We didn't have the numbers. People didn't show up, as we know. Numbers were down, and the Republicans caught us napping, which generally happens in politics. One of the parties goes to sleep, the other one catches them napping, and then there's a wave, right? And then we got
Right.
them back in 2018 after the first 2 years of Trump. We were like, oh, this is crazy. So then, Democrats gained back seats and things like that. This is going to be a complete wipeout. The problem with that is we've already given them one Supreme Court seat.
Two.
No,
This would be his third nominee.
this will be his third one.
Yeah.
So we had Kavanaugh. Who else?
Well, maybe I don't know if the other one, if the other was there a nominee that didn't get voted
I
in?
think so. Yeah. No,
Okay,
no,
so
no,
this
no,
is his
no,
third
no,
nominee.
no. What happened was you're counting. There was the one that Obama tried to do, and they.
No, no, no. I've heard reports all this week that this would be President Trump's third Supreme Court nominee.
So Scalia died. We didn't replace him, or did no? We replaced him with Kavanaugh.
I'm looking it up right now.
Okay, but in the meantime, so we got this new lady. She's gonna be. They're gonna give her hell because it turns out that she's already written about Roe versus Wade and the fact that she would overturn it in a paper, and you
She
can't.
nominated Neil Gorsuch, Neil Gorsuch in February 2017.
And he wasn't confirmed,
Okay, and then he dominated Kavanaugh in
and
2018.
Kavanaugh was.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So that was a net of one, and we're about to give him two, but they done found homegirl writing about Roe versus Wade. And a Supreme Court justice is not supposed to go into the court having already pre-decided a case.
Mm.
So that's a big red flag. They're still doing their dirt on her. We hope they don't get the seat. But if we do give that seat up, it's because we fell
No,
asleep at the
I'm
wheel.
sorry. Neil Gorsuch did go in. Gorsuch replaced Scalia, and Brett Kavanaugh replaced Kennedy.
Oh shit.
So he has two in there already.
Okay. Yep. So this would be the
Sorry about
third.
that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay.
And that would
So
also officially, if he does get somebody in there, that would officially make the Supreme Court majority conservative.
absolutely. Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
ladies,
So
stockpile your birth control if you need to.
I forgot about Gorsuch. I just found out that you had to pay for rape kits.
I didn't know that.
What kind of
Like,
fucked up shit is that?
but
Yo, this country is trash.
America.
This country is holy
It is
fuck.
just like in the same state of Georgia. I don't know if we talked about this here, if I was having this conversation somewhere else, but in the same state of Georgia that is fighting so hard to make abortions illegal and giving companies the right to not cover birth control under your health insurance, I can't get my tubes tied. They have a set of rules. Like you have to be over a certain age, you have to have had 3 children, and if you're married, your husband has to agree.
What? Yeah. Listen. All right. So anyway, I can't with this prehistoric people.
Who you with?
Um this is a mess. But anyway, yeah, so
So
back.
to quote the great Negro poet Little John, who you with, get crunk, who you with. Go show them at the polls.
Yeah, and don't be with Pole out of Don.
Do not be with Pull Out the Dawn.
At all. So.
Okay, the other reason why I wanted to name the episode this is because I really like I'm going to give this literally 15 seconds. If you want to talk about it beyond that, we can. So last week, actually no, we have to give it a little bit more than that. So last week, Tory Lanez finally broke his silence on a Thursday. This happened as we were recording last week's episode. We completely missed it. Went on Twitter and already went up there with the wrong fucking attitude, but now we know why. And tweeted, sorry to my fans that I've been quiet for so long, but I've got time today. Bitch, the nerve of you. But I've got time today. And he said 9 p.m., which he meant 9 p.m. Pacific. And then, of course, he went ahead and dropped an album. Said album apparently includes a diss record. I don't know, and I will never know what that album sounds like. You understand me? Yes, there are 4 songs that are in rotation on my playlist on which he is featured. 2 are his, well, 1 is his song. 1 is a Snake Ship song featuring him. 1 is a Casanova song featuring him. And 1 is a Sean Paul song featuring him. And every time one of those songs comes on, I feel like I need to delete them. I know I should delete them.
Yes, you should.
I know. But this is literally the only Tory Lanez I've ever really listened to on purpose, and their songs that I really enjoy a lot. The Snake Ship song been out for 6 years. It's my jam, whatever.
The only thing I've ever listened to from that guy is his verse on Liddy, which is Meek Mill's song.
Right. Who was it? High Snobiety released a statement last Friday and said, yeah, we're good. We're never covering him again. This is horrible. How you gonna turn around 2 days after this Breonna Taylor decision is read and do this and be so callous about a woman that you claim to have been in a relationship with and have cared about, right? How are you walking around here like you really didn't do anything wrong?
And then tried to use Breonna Taylor's name for clout.
And use this incident to sell a fucking album.
I donated money.
So gross.
I donated money. And then I donated money to Breonna Taylor. Then when him and Rick Ross got into it, I was in your city marching for Breonna Taylor. Where was you at?
Sir.
Not shooting women. How about
not
that?
shooting women?
He was
and when you're women. When you're the lesser man in defense of black women sitting next to Rick Ross, my nigga.
You really do.
Okay. I am high-key disappointed that no other outlet, particularly the black-led outlets, have said, yeah, you know what? We're not covering this nigga either. I've seen albums. I've seen posts about what he and his team allegedly did. I've seen videos. I've seen that man's name on every major hip-hop outlet all week. And High Snobiety was like, yeah, we're not doing this. This is whack.
Yeah. Free music credits. Do not go look for his album because you won't find it.
So that's why I was called that, because, then you got to really start to wonder, at what point do we stand for whatever it is that we stand for? And do you understand that by not turning your back on the person that is hurting me, you're in fact showing me that they matter to you more than me? You feel me? It's like if you've ever seen, I forget what show it was that I was watching, where it was they were like, if you have to make the decision between me and the nigga I don't fuck with, go ahead and rock with them. If it's hard for you, if it's really a tough decision for you, I absolve you from friendship. It's fine. Go fuck with that nigga.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We got to do better by black women, man. We just do. And it's as a black man, I can't understand a lot. And I just try to listen because every day I find out some more fuck shit that women and black women in particular have to deal with.
Right.
And homie, you shot this lady, and
Your girlfriend.
she ain't even
Your
snitch
girlfriend.
on you right away. Like, you know, like she was about to eat that because she didn't want you to get killed right there. Like she literally had the wherewithal to say, you know what? I'm not gonna tell them you did this because I don't want these people to shoot a black man. And women have been jumping in front of black men, jumping in front of bullets for black men, um, figuratively and literally forever since the beginning of existence. Literally, our mamas are black women dumbasses. So it bothers me that niggas will not stand up for women.
Hmm.
That shit absolutely fucking ticks me off. And every time I see it, every time I read these stupid comments, and you know, sometimes it's women too that join in on it. You
Yes.
know, we know that psychology works. We know black people out here caping and holding up white supremacy, and there's women up here holding up misogyny. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Or participating in the holding up of misogyny. But
And sometimes not even realizing it.
no, but you got the R. Kelly hoes, the ones who swear. I don't know what they swear, but
That are still going to shows and throwing panties on stage.
yeah. And
I
this
don't know how
nigga
you don't
ain't
think he's
even that
gross.
good of an artist, dog. Like, come on, man. I mean, I'm gonna just be honest. Tory Lanez is mid. He's mid as fuck.
Right. Tory Lanez has a few great songs that really could have been anybody else.
Like, we doing this over Tory Lanez.
Liddy could have been Roscoe Dash.
Well, I mean, it's Meek Mill's song, so anybody else could have sang the hook.
The
You
hook,
know what I'm
right? That's what
saying?
I'm
Like,
saying.
literally, that literally could have been anybody. But cool. But other than, I mean, he's mid. And take your ass back to Canada, dog. Bye. We got Drake.
Man, there's a
Drake is
lot of
American any
Canadians.
fucking
There's
way.
a
I
lot
mean,
of
Drake.
Canadians that we would rather keep over you, friend.
Well, Drake Daddy from Memphis, so
We can't even count them. So let's count. If we want a West Indian Canadian, I vote we bring back Cardinal Official and trade him in for
why
Tory Lanez.
not?
He's tall. He's talented. He looks out for other people. He's a good person. He's a dad. He's somebody's husband. Like he's literally in Canada right now advocating for other artists. Yeah.
Anybody
Go follow y'all go follow Cardinal Official. Go follow Cardinal Official. Just do that for
anybody
me.
But this nigga. I'm baffled.
So yeah, so that's it. There'll be no more mention of that person on the show.
Listen, I saw somebody I know. Yo, you seen that twerk? Listen, why would you even bring that shit up to me, bro? Like that was my whole energy. Like, really, why would you even? Like, why are we giving light to that type of darkness? Like, and it's people think like you got to be torn. You don't. Fuck that nigga. That's it. Point blank. Period. Move on. I ain't listened to an R. Kelly record in years, and I won't, and I don't give a shit. I'm good, and he's way more impactful and better at his craft than Tory Lanez will ever be. And I said, fuck.
And as a kid, as a '90s kid, as an '80s baby, there's a lot of R. Kelly songs that are tied to shit that you know what I mean. Like to throw away that whole Best of Both Worlds album. Well, the whole 6 songs on the Best of Both Worlds album that was great. Shouts to Tone and Poke.
So underrated.
So underrated.
I miss Trackmaster's intros.
Yo, so I was listening to something the other day. We were talking about how Trackmaster's beats did not necessarily age well.
No.
They still sound like they still sound like what
you
they
remember those
like
intros though, right?
Like you can't play an old Trackmasters record now and try to slide it in.
Well, you're a Foxy Brown fan, so I know you remember those intros they used to do.
Yes.
This is the Chopping Block Podcast.
Loved it.
Oh man,
enjoyed it very much.
Good times.
Good times.
I listened to what was I listening to? The Fugees, yeah.
I love Trackmasters. I think I had to write a bio for an artist that Tone was working with. At one point, I geeked out, man. When I realized I was on the phone with Tone from Trackmasters, I was like,
wow, yeah. Big things.
Big deal to me. All right, guys. This week in music, Steve Rifkin officially relaunched Loud Records, and Loud
Hey,
Records is a fully independent distribution label offering label services to their artists. So basically, they have no formal ties to any major label. So it's not like Loud is being distributed by, I think it was Universal back in the day. I know that definitely SRC was under Universal.
SRC was under Universal. I believe Loud might have been. Well, back then, Priority did the distribution, but I think the label might have been one of those folks.
This is fully independent, and they all the artists will own their own masters, and label services will be provided on an a la carte basis. And so Steve Rifkin said, we're distributing ourselves, building our own platform. What we do is a and then whatever services artists need, we add on. So basically, what Gazi is doing with Empire meets United Masters.
Hey,
Kind of
what Kangaroo Records is doing?
what Kangaroo Records is doing. All that to say, hey guys, while the majors move like the dinosaurs that they are, because they are giant, massive machines that are going to take a whole lot to stop and redirect, know that you have options out there.
Absolutely. And this option over Kangaroo Records wants to help you be the option because we believe in independence. We believe everybody should be owners of
Yep.
some degree, you know. But I think that's an amazing platform, especially for somebody like Steve. You know, Steve revolutionized the street team, and you know, just man, he's he's been there and helped launch and break so many amazing careers. You know, including
Mm-hmm.
a certain Wu-Tang Clan.
Wu
Um,
Tang, Akon, David Banner,
yeah, man,
Big
he's a
Pun.
legend. I remember his SRC days. My man Reality was an A&R over there. But yeah, you know, Steve is a legend, and for him to offer services in that way, allow people to keep their masters. I already know what kind of label services he's going to be offering, and it's going to be competitive with what a label would actually offer. So you're going
Right.
to get high grade services. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Which should have always been available to artists. Period. So that's
Yep.
the game now is to go directly to somebody like Ty and get you a real bio because a label would have hired her back in the day to do it, and they'd have just jacked the price up and kept most of your money or overcharged you for it. You know what I'm saying? But now you can go directly to her, and get that done. So those are the types of services, professional services, marketing, and all these things that you don't need a middleman for.
And they have, and listen, the fact that Steve Rifkin has brought this label back, he's been talking about it for a minute because I met Steve at A3C when Combat Jack interviewed him. Rest in peace, Combat. And that was 3 years ago. So the last time the Combat made it down to A3C, um, which would have been happening this weekend coming. So shed a thug tear for that. They are doing a virtual
One
something or
day,
other.
yeah.
I have no details or interest. I don't know why, but I do know why. But anyway, um, yeah. So he was talking about relaunching Loud Records 3 years ago, and he sat back. This is Steve Rifkin. Steve Rifkin does not have to sit back. Steve Rifkin does not have to take the time to understand the new market. Steve Rifkin could just jump in and figure it out as he went along, or partnered with a major and did whatever. For him to sit back and study it, and then for him to turn around and say he himself will deal directly with the DSPs on behalf of his artists, I think it's a big deal. I think it's a big deal. They've announced 3 artists so far. 2 of them are from Atlanta, and the third is actually Steve's son.
Mm.
Yeah, his
So
name is Ryrif.
nice.
Ryrif.
I'm excited because I think well, and here's what I hope. I hope that a crop of artists and young executives follow Steve's lead
Mm-hmm.
instead of following Steve. And I think that's what we need more of. We need people who can show us how to do things. Like, it's completely okay to exchange services, but in today's economy, you have to learn to manage a certain level of yourself and your own situations if you want to be a productive member of this new economy.
Right.
It's literally the way it's got to be. So
But
I'm
I
gonna.
say this though. And I had a friend who built a whole platform around this, in that he said that, there was a push at one point, and there still is in certain circles, for everybody to become an entrepreneur. Everybody does not need to be an entrepreneur,
No,
or can't necessarily
no,
do it. And then
and
there are
yeah,
certain things that still need to operate within a certain construct.
absolutely, and that's why I didn't go that far to say everybody should be an entrepreneur. Because
So,
yeah,
even when we say everybody should be an owner, I think it's okay for you, when you first jump off the porch, go to people who know what they're doing. And that's one thing you tweeted that the other day.
oh,
Like,
absolutely,
if we all gonna go indie, cool, but
right,
like, you need to spend the money to make sure that shit is done the way it's supposed to be done, because you don't know
absolutely.
everything and you can't do everything on your own.
So just to clarify, when I say everybody, not just I want everybody else to know this. I know you know this, but you're a business because you create art, and that art that you create is a commodity. It's a product.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to be in control of your product. The problem in music has been that we give up our sound recording too easily. And
Mm-hmm.
that's it. That's your leverage. That's everything. So you can have a manager, you can have all these other things, you can have people that you pay to do things, and you don't have to, whatever. But we gotta learn to hold on to that perpetual money. Gotta
Right.
hold on to that thing.
Yeah.
You can have a manager, you can have lawyer. Like, I don't expect people to go out here and no, I don't want them to do that like at all, because
Mm-hmm.
that's not for everybody. That shit ain't easy.
Right.
Everybody don't have to start a label and this, that, and the third. But you should have your own publishing company, because what that means is you are in charge of your own publishing, right? That means you didn't give up the right to your publishing.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go get a service, or hook up with somebody, give them a percentage, and let them run your shit. I'm all for that, because there are people who are great at that. You know, y'all got to remember, Wendy Day negotiated, what was it, at 85-15 split for No Limit back in God knows when that was, and on No
Right.
Limits
Early
behalf.
90s.
You know what I'm saying? To where No Limit, where independent had the high percentage.
Was it No Limit, or was it Cash Money?
It was No Limit. It was Master
Okay.
P. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, and we're back here at that space. You don't have to be boss CEO, but if you want, like I said, if you make music and you want to step into the arena, you got to have some business sense about you,
Right.
right? I know we all laughing at LLC Twitter, but you need to understand what you need to do to protect yourself, your tax situations or whatever. Pay somebody else to do it for you, fam. But go cover your ass, cover your sound recordings, cover your publishing. That's it. Be the CEO of those things. You can let
Right.
somebody else be the CEO of everything else. But
Mm-hmm.
those things you got to hold on to. Because the moment you sign away your sound recording, that's your master. You gone. Now somebody else is going to own your stuff. And you're going
Right.
to be begging like Kanye to get it back.
Mm, how tragic. How tragic. So yeah, I'm excited to see that things are changing. Along that same line, Twitch, which is now owned by Amazon. I don't know if it's always been owned by Amazon.
For a lot longer than people knew, and for a lot
Realize.
longer, clearly, than Jeff Bezos knew.
Wow. Um, Twitch has launched an in-platform music streaming service called Soundtrack. Um, that basically has licensed more than 1 million songs by independent artists that you can use as background music. I'm guessing that that's a leverage, a step that they're doing to be able to go to the majors and say, look, guys, look how much is being streamed over here. Y'all need to fuck with us too.
Um,
No?
maybe. I don't think Amazon or Twitch cares about that. I think what they care about is not getting sued. I think they
Okay.
care about not having to deal with that. Because what they're doing is basically it's a platform where if you go through a certain premium distributors, including DistroKid and a couple others, you can elect for your music to be on that platform, and that in turn will allow people on Twitch to use your music without repercussion. And I'm assuming, because I haven't seen the actual details of the contracts, or you'll probably have to opt in to Harry Fox and Music Reports or something at some point, but that there'll be some kind of compensation for those creatives based
Right.
on the usage or a blanket fee or whatever. But they're basically just doing a direct deal with indies, so they don't have to get these takedown requests. Because if I go, we're streaming live on our Twitch right now,
Mm-hmm.
so if we decide to play a song, Twitch would have to pay that person. Now, the thing is, when Jeff Bezos went to Congress, we realized that Jeff Bezos didn't
Oh,
even
yeah.
know he owned Twitch, and that Twitch wasn't paying any kind of fees to any labels or whatever. So this is smart of Twitch to allow you to deal directly with them. So I would suggest if you got the opportunity to get in line with it, but we got to make sure that Twitch is paying out correctly, and that we're good on that end.
I just got on Twitch for the very first time ever, guys.
It's cute, isn't it? It's a cute little platform.
Huh?
It's a cute little platform.
I see. I'm like, oh, look at this. Rolling Loud got a little show. They interviewing somebody right now.
Yo, T-Pain's Twitch. Telling you, do it.
Y'all,
T-Pain's
I'm
Twitch.
gonna spend the fourth quarter learning how to be a hip auntie. I'm just gonna learn how to do shit. I'm gonna finally I made my first two um reels on my page. Three
Nice.
on my page. Because I did one on Kiko's page, but my dog has a Twitter, you guys, and not enough people are following her. So please follow my dog. It's at Kiko be chillin'. There's no G at the end of chillin' because we keeps it real around here. But I made one on her page, like a unboxing of some toys that she had gotten or whatever. And I had never done it on mine, and I did it, and it did not kill me, and it really wasn't that difficult to do once I figured it out. And then I figured out that really the lick is to edit it outside of Reels, and then
Bring it in there.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm about to spend the last 3 months of this year.
I
I'm putting
really,
myself
I really thought that people were making all those videos in TikTok.
right, and apparently they're not.
I still haven't figured it out. Cause I'm like, Will Smith, you ain't do all that stuff in TikTok. You're
No.
like
Oh, Will Smith is
exploding.
paying a whole like editing team.
He's like exploding. It's like one dude jumps into. I'm just like, nah, y'all not doing that all in TikTok.
You're not. So, but yeah, so Twitch. Now I try to go to the page because right now they've made soundtrack available to select creators with
Mm-hmm.
a wide release for all users planned down the line. And there's a wait list, but when I try to click on the link to go to the wait list, it's not pulling up that page. I don't know if the page is down or what.
Yeah, we're gonna figure out how to opt in also because, yeah, this information is hot off the presses. Just happened today, so
Yep. Also, in case you were wondering, TikTok is still available.
yeah, and
TikTok was supposed to be shut down last Sunday.
well, TikTok filed a complaint in the courts to stay open, as did I believe WeChat, and the ruling on WeChat was that it was a violation of the freedom of speech of folks who have family in China because that's their main method of communication, basically, with people on the mainland. So I'm pretty sure they're going to figure out something about this one too. Trump's pretty much lost this one. So TikTok's not going anywhere, guys.
Yeah, I don't think that it is. And I mean, it was just really stupid. Like, all right, we're in the
Everything it
middle of
does
a
is
fucking
stupid.
pandemic.
It's
We
cool.
have
Wait,
a
wait,
quarter
hold on, hold
of
on.
the world's
It's
cases.
it's October. You know what that means? That
We're
means we
past
got
the
a.
middle.
It means we got a month to get this fucker out of here. That's what it is.
Y'all,
I'm a
please.
drink to that.
Um, we have surpassed 1 million deaths globally. Um, the United States has a
Has one
quarter.
eighth of them
The United States has a quarter of the
the
cases
cases and one eighth of the
and the
deaths.
highest number of deaths.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But oh no
United
no no
States
no.
of
But
America, you
it's a
guys.
hoax.
We have watched every disaster movie that could happen. And those of us who are not from here but live here always laugh because it's like words. So every alien come, they gonna land here. Every disaster hit is gonna hit here, and then we gonna get out. The United States gonna get out of it with no problem. Word, really? Well, here we are,
2020.
fucking not getting out of it.
Fam, can you imagine the movie 2020 that's gonna come out in like 2030 or 2040? Can you imagine?
Like, I'm wondering like what I'm going to say to my grandkids when they study 2020 in the history book. Be
There's
like,
gonna
Grandma,
be a
they did
whole
what?
special chapter.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna
2020.
have its own set. It has to. It
Oh
has
my
to.
god. We
It
allowed
has
this to
to.
happen.
Between the fires and all this other shit, it just
Let
has
me
to.
tell you
So anyway,
something. Y'all think
I don't
voting
know
don't
why out of all those things he focused on TikTok, but
y'all don't think voting has consequences. Now you figured it out. Voting and not
oh,
voting.
speaking of which, let's just bring it up one more time. So now the Attorney General of Kentucky, Daniel Cameron, is trying to fight to delay releasing the transcripts of the grand jury because one of the grand jurors came out and was like, "Yeah, we were not even given the option of considering murder charges."
Well, and then he's doing damage control. So what he's trying to do is he's trying to control the narrative.
Right.
So he jumped out and said, "Yeah, I didn't give them this part," and but we're going to see the whole truth because the judge ordered it. So eventually, we're going to see that this guy really just went in there to protect cops and white supremacy. That's what we're gonna. That's gonna be the outcome. That's literally what happened. So yeah,
And charged one police officer with the shots that he missed.
right. I went to some white lady's apartment.
So, so just a good opportunity to remind you guys that Attorney General is something that you vote for.
And please vote out Kelly Loeffler, that racist lady who owns the Atlanta Dream. Let's get her out of there. Vote for Reverend Warnock. Let's get Purdue and his old racist ass out of there. Let's get John Ossoff in there, Georgia. Let's do it. All right.
I just really want you guys. So I'm tasking you all with two things, and I will tell you my promise to you as somebody who lives here, who does reap the benefits of a lot of what happens here, who pays taxes, but could never be president and can't vote. Um, I want you guys to really take this time. If you haven't already ordered an absentee ballot, a lot of people are urging that you vote early because what old boy is going to try to do 4 days after the elections when they're still counting is going to start talking shit and saying that it's inaccurate and this, that, and the third. If y'all vote early, all those votes are in there before election day. That means that they're waiting for way less shit to come in for them to make a decision. So vote early, vote early, vote early. Two, pay really close attention to what is on your local election ballots. Pay attention to everything. The school boards.
Mm-hmm.
The people that just decided that they wanted to put your kids back in buildings in the midst of a pandemic, but we're having
But don't want to fund
remote
it.
meetings to talk about it.
That's the worst part. The worst part is it's not just that they wanted to put your kids back in school. They didn't want to fund to do it in a safe way. They didn't want to
Right.
install the things that needed to be installed. They didn't want to fork over the money to make sure that your kids were actually going to be safe. So
Right.
that's the caveat. Like, oh yeah, got to go back to work. But yeah, if I go back to work, are you going to make sure that I'm safe? No. If I go
Right.
back to school, you're going to make sure I'm safe? No. So don't listen to people that talk out the side of their mouth they got to give you a complete answer. If you want my kids to go back to school, then you better make sure that they have shields between the kids.
Right.
They got, they're sectioned off, they're safe, they got hand sanitizer. Let me tell you something.
And a teacher to make sure that these nasty ass first graders are using the hand sanitizer. First graders are nasty.
We supply the parents supply these classrooms.
Right.
I buy the snacks and the juices and the hand sanitizers in the beginning of the year and the tissues and help the teacher. The teachers and the parents are the ones buying these things because there's no money for it. Trust me, I go to Costco and get packages of things in the beginning of the year and then all throughout the year for my kids in their class. When they see me coming, they know it's the cookie man. You know what I'm saying? They know I'm coming.
Sounds real gross, by the way.
You know what I'm saying? They know I got the snacks. They know I got the Oreos. They know I got the Chips Ahoy. They know I got the Barnum Circus joints. They know
now I gotta go listen to that damn Candyman song.
But shout out to the parents because we help, and the teachers really help make sure. So these schools are underfunded, man. Even all of the schools are underfunded, and
all the schools are underfunded. But guess what, guys? When your county has budget meetings, you can go. You can go. Like, y'all, we have been convinced. They have lied to American people and told American people that you can't affect change within the political system, particularly people of color, because white folks know that they can go to all these meetings, and they go to all these
meetings. Yeah. Because once those people
the same way that they've convinced us that we don't own this country, like, fuck that. No. Y'all, if you're 3-4 generations American, like if you know that your people were slaves in America, like this is your country. Y'all have the ability to go to budget meetings. Y'all have the ability to sit in on these school board meetings and ask questions. These whatever city council meetings you can sit in. Even during this pandemic here in Atlanta, at least, you could sit in on the city council meetings. They were happening live on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
You could sit in, you could watch, you could ask questions, all that. So that's the second part of what I'm tasking you guys with. Study that ballot, see what's on it. Make sure niggas been doing their jobs. If they haven't been doing their jobs, get the fuck up out of the paint.
They gotta go.
Pay attention to what they're supposed to be doing moving forward. Whatever promises they're making you now, pay attention to that shit and make sure that they're doing that shit, because in 2 more years, it's going to be time to vote for these niggas again, and you have the opportunity to get them
out of here. That's how it works.
How it works.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
All right, back to music. It is awards season apparently once again.
It just all feels so wrong.
What? The awards?
It just doesn't feel like any of those things are happening.
Fam, it's the first week of October. Nobody's hitting our phones about no damn passes. We're not sitting here trying to figure out a schedule for anything. Like, this is so surreal. This is the first time in a decade that it's the first week of October and I got shit to do.
Yeah, I don't even remember. A3C's been a part of my life since a really long fucking time.
At least 12 years.
Easily.
Yeah. I was going to joke. I was going to tweet it. I didn't tweet it yet. This is the first September in like 8 or 9 years that I haven't talked to A King like every day.
Shout out to my brother A King. Shout out
to my work husband A King.
Woo!
Because every year we made some shit happen. We made some shit happen. Even last year without Reggie, we made some shit happen. Or rather the year before that. Oh yeah, last year. I don't remember. Last year was so weird. Anyway, the People's Choice Awards at E. I feel like I never knew that this was an E property.
Yeah, because it wasn't.
Okay, so now it is.
Okay.
They've added new categories, including the new artist of 2020, the collaboration song of 2020, and the soundtrack song of 2020. The top nominees are Justin Bieber and one Megan Thee Stallion, who have each been nominated 6 times. And Ariana Grande and Lady Gaga came in with 5 nods each. Bad Bunny, The Baby, Cardi B, Dua Lipa, and BTS all came in with 4. The voting committee, the voting starts today or started today
Okay.
in 44 categories covering movies, television, music, and pop culture. You can vote through Friday, October 23rd. And then the awards will air on November 15th.
Mm.
As of right now, the show is set to broadcast from Barker Hangar in Santa Monica, California. And Jennifer Lopez is going to be getting the People's Icon 2020 Award. And if you are interested in voting, that happens at PCA, like People's Choice Award, .eonline.com
Okay.
or via Twitter.
Did you see the commercial with Bad Bunny and Snoop?
No, I ain't
Yeah.
watched TV with commercials in a really long time.
Yeah, it's cute. He said, "Oh," so they're like calling each other. They're both on the beach. He answers the phone, and Snoop's like, "Yeah, yeah, who's this? Oh, it's Bad Bunny." And he's
It's
like,
Bad
"Okay." He
Bunny.
said, "Yeah, player." He said, "No, playa." Like
No, Playa.
it's cute,
I need to
man.
go find
Bad
it.
Bunny's cute, man. He's dope.
I love Bad Bunny. I love Bad Bunny. You almost making me want to skip to that story. Okay. Also dropped the BT Hip Hop Award nominations. I don't understand why there's still a separate hip hop awards nomination if it's going to be the same motherfuckers that's nominated for the regular BT Awards.
I I I got nothing. I've always wondered why they had two award shows,
They could have two award shows. I get
but I
it,
just don't
right? But
understand
then my
why.
thing would be the
Like, what's
BT
the
Hip Hop Awards
right? Like
should be the
is
people that can't hit that regular BT Award stage.
or so the regular one would be non hip hop.
Or the regular one could be non-hip hop. But I'm saying, like, if the regular one includes some hip hop artists, let them be A and B list artists, or like the biggest, most popular artists, right? And then leave the hip hop awards to like the Griseldas of the world, and you know what I'm saying,
But
like
they're
to the
not
people
because
that
they're basically doing the same thing twice.
literally
Trying to get Cardi
but
B
adding
and
ciphers.
hoping Beyonce finally decides to show up and
She showed up last year, didn't she?
I
Oh, because it
think
was virtual.
yeah.
Um. So no. Instead, you get Lyricist of the Year category, where it is between Big Sean, The Baby, Drake, J. Cole, Megan Thee Stallion, and Rhapsody. And I love everybody on that list, except for Jermaine. But I respect Jermaine.
Yeah, we
I
respect
respect
Jermaine.
Jermaine. Jermaine should be here.
We absolutely respect Jermaine.
This is weird. I love
Lyricist of the
Meg. Y'all know
year.
I love Meg. I stand for Meg. I call Meg my daughter, like I was some old, mother of a house in, like in Pose. Like she is everything that I wish that
Who
I could have been in my early.
who nominates these categories?
Huh?
Who nominates these categories?
Who knows?
Do we know? Because I just feel like somebody was sitting around like, yeah, all right, we need to put this person in there, and oh, don't forget Rhapsody because we need somebody to represent
We
that
gotta put an actual
section.
female lyricist in there.
Right now, yeah, we got to put somebody that's popular, so throw her in there. And no, we don't need Cardi B this year. We got Meg. Um, you know,
Literally.
like they was trying to cover all the bases
All the
instead of
bases.
actually talking to fans.
When you had the opportunity, again, because the baby got a bunch of nominations at the regular awards and stole the award with his performance, and so did Meg, like you had the opportunity to put Benny the Butcher on this list, to put Sky Zoo on this list,
lyricists,
to put lyricists.
Right. And that's not to say we love the
what's his
baby.
name? Joey Badass. Put Joey Badass on his list.
And even so, even if you didn't want to go there, there's still a ton of people who are mainstream who could have fit into this category, but you clearly just wanted to put somebody else at the top of Billboard. Like it's obvious, like it's contrived. And it's weird to see, Hopefully the fans enjoy it, but this
The
is
best new
why.
hip hop artist category is literally the XXL cover
Oh,
plus Pop Smoke. No, I'm sorry. Plus Pop Smoke and Rod Wave. It's Rod Wave, Pop Smoke, NLE Choppa, who is a freshman, Mulatto, who is a freshman, Jack
wasn't Rod
Harlow, who
Wave
is
a
a
freshman last
freshman,
year?
and Flo Milli.
Rod Wave
Huh?
was a freshman last year, wasn't he?
Was he?
I believe so.
Probably. Sounds accurate.
Okay.
I'm confused by this because again, this is BT and this is the Hip Hop Awards, and y'all had the opportunity to do something with it. Y'all really have the opportunity. Like, I really want, and maybe this will be the year, maybe enough of us can complain. I don't know what the fuck happened to Variety, but for whatever reason on here on Variety's website, everywhere that's supposed to say J. Cole says one period Cole. And
What?
it's cracking me up. I don't know. Somebody fucked up. But it's hilarious to me. Um, but yeah, like maybe enough. No, because it's Viacom, they don't give a fuck. But y'all
Yeah.
really had the opportunity to make this for hip hop. You know what I mean? To put some names in there that people would have to go look up that are not like real hip hop heads like
They're just
that.
like, nah, as long as it's black. I used to, man, let me tell you something. When the BET Awards was in Atlanta, even before I lived here, I would drive down. Like, it was a thing. And
Yeah.
you knew, like, you was going to see, like, the rappers. You was going to see niggas in line fighting. You was going to see gunplay. You was going to see, Rick Ross. You was going to see all kind of goons you know, and
I met
now I
Busta
just,
Rhymes on the carpet. Well, not met. I think maybe that might have been the first time on the green carpet at the BT Hip Hop.
I don't know. I don't know. And then I guess so it's going to be virtual, or is it in an actual location?
Let's see here.
Because they keep trying to move it back to Miami, but the cops don't want them there. Miami
The
don't want them
awards
there.
will air on. It doesn't say where they're being taped this year.
Okay.
It says it's going to air on Tuesday, the 27th of October.
27th. Oh, that's much later than normal.
It's going to be simulcast on BET Africa. And then it will be broadcast in France on the 30th and in the UK on the 31st.
What?
And in South Korea on the 31st. And it's going to be simulcast on BET Her, VH1, and MTV2. I hate BET Her as a name of a station, by the way. They should have left it what it used to be called.
Was that Centric? Yeah.
Yeah. I hate BET Her. But yeah, it doesn't say where it's taping or if it's virtual or what. But I just really feel like they could do better. I want them to do better with this.
I've been wanting them to do better with that awards for a very long time. I think we'll continue to want them to do better. Black media is the other big letdown. And I think we haven't done enough. I think we focused on the labels too much. Well, I won't say too much, but we should have also focused on black media. And especially, and we've had this conversation before, why there's no real black media here in Atlanta, which is supposed to be the home. But everybody treats it like the stepchild.
Oh, you making me want to say something about that so bad. Ooh, I abstain from that conversation.
That's a whole nother podcast episode. We'll be on that forever. I'll go ahead and run up to New York when your press runs. Mm-hmm.
But meanwhile, Essence Magazine furloughed its whole staff this week because the Essence Awards didn't happen and none of their other events. And here's my thing, like,
media, you know what else didn't happen?
Money,
Trump
right?
didn't give us no fucking money. The stimulus package ain't happen.
But it's enough fucking black people with a lot of money that, like, an Essence should never be out of money. Ebony should never be out of money.
Don't white people own Ebony now?
Huh?
Didn't they sell Ebony to white folks?
Yeah. The Source should not be where it's at right now. Vibe should not be struggling right now.
Well, a lot of those parent companies like, we'll let them people go.
Right. Because they think they can do us without us. And when I say they, y'all know who the fuck I mean. I'm sorry.
Well, they're going to jump in your inbox and say, hey, Ty, you going to write an article for $10?
Right. And that's what they did when, you know what I'm saying? When, when all the riots and everything broke out in late May, early June, a lot of my Black writer friends started getting emails and calls. Like nobody hit me up because for the last 2-3 years, I've been mostly more on the PR marketing side and not necessarily writing as much. But all of my friends who are active writers, a lot of people got bylines, and it worked out really well for a lot of people. A lot of people are getting really, really major looks who 100% deserve it. Like my homegirl Jewel Wicker just interviewed Lil Baby for GQ. Very important. It's so important that GQ not only got somebody Black to write that article, but got somebody from Atlanta to write about. And that may be another benefit of the pandemic, right? Is that now y'all got to get people in their hometown to go talk to people that are down the street instead of flying people the fuck in. That's why Atlanta doesn't have media right now, is because for years and years and years, people were just flying in and doing their interviews, or the artists were flying to New York and doing their interviews. And there was no need to cultivate the people that are here. So huge shout out to the people in Atlanta who I see carrying the torch. I'm trying to get back in there with you guys, but like for real, when y'all talking about these investments and all of y'all are sitting on the internet talking about you putting money into this, that, and the fourth, and then, you know, Essence has to furlough their whole entire staff because the Essence Awards didn't happen 1 year. 1 year. 1 year of no Essence Awards. Shut down Essence Magazine.
That's crazy.
Now they're saying that they're expecting the furlough to only be for 6 months and for them to be able to bring everybody back for 6 months. But niggas ain't got 6 months to sit here and wait for Essence to come back and maybe rehire them. So anyway, shouts to the team at Essence. I got to work with some of them last summer, and they were amazing as a collective. So, you know, hopefully that'll be back sooner rather than later. All right. So the Latin Grammys also dropped their nominations this week.
Yeah.
And it is a big deal because last year, all the trap and Latin urban and reggaeton artists were shut out of the major categories. And this year, the top nominees are J Balvin, Bad Bunny, and Ozuna.
Right. It's not possible. I mean, the reverberation of what those three have been doing amongst the whole squad. I'm really excited for the best new Latin artist category because it's so much talent in that category.
It is.
Like
Anuel AA, Mike Bahia, Kazoo,
my guy Setch.
Huh?
So my guy Setch.
Yes. Like Nicki Minaj is up for 2 Latin Grammys because she's on a Karol G song that's nominated twice. J Balvin is nominated for 2 different albums for Album of the Year. His solo album Colores and his collab with Bad Bunny, which is called Oasis.
That was a cheat.
My favorite.
That was a cheat. That was a cheat. Them two getting together to do an album.
Bad Bunny is also nominated twice because Yo Hago Lo Que Me Da La Gana, long ass name of an album, is nominated, and so is Oasis. But it's huge. Like y'all really tried to front on. And it speaks a lot to colorism and Latin.
I told Mikey, I said it right. It's Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny.
I mean, we could call him a conejo, really, if we really want to be, you know, extra with it. But like it speaks to how the establishment wants to try to front on the fact that, like, hey, y'all, guess how y'all got over here? There are African drums in your shit, my dude. Incorporate it. Because you know who like Oasis has 2 songs that are produced by Mr. Easy. And Mr. Easy is also on Colores. Like, y'all, come on now.
Shout out to my brother Jay. He produced a record on that Ozuna album. I'm so excited, man. If my nigga from Baltimore get a damn Latin Grammy,
right?
We going to toss it up. You know what I'm saying?
Very, very dope. And what's our other guy's name? Who we gave the award to last year?
Oh, Tiny. Oh,
yeah, man. Tiny's all over this shit.
Tiny is the man. Tiny is the man.
Tiny is a man.
Yeah.
So
J
big up.
Oliver, J Oliver, we getting a Latin Grammy, bro. We're gonna bring that
I
home
got
to
nominated
Baltimore.
for a Latin Grammy.
It's a lot of work getting put in on the Latin Grammy side. Y'all better learn
Yeah.
Spanish.
Huh?
Get you. I said they better learn Spanish. Get them a double shot at the Grammys.
They're not going to.
You know, it's funny because I'm being honest. I used to be like, man, why they got a whole fucking Grammys? Because it's a whole language, bro. It's a
The
whole
whole language that's spoken in so many different
right,
countries.
right. It's like it's and that in itself is a culture. Through the music, you know what I'm saying, and then also, man, it's so much dope Brazilian music too right now.
Right.
Um, it's a good time for Latin music. I
It's
love
always a
it.
good time for Latin music.
Every time,
Latin music,
listen, every time I
Latin
get in the
artists,
Uber
Latin people have a good time.
and my Uber driver from like Venezuela or they be listening to, I say, yo, turn that up, Pop. Come on,
I
man.
had one try to front on me one time because like I was listening to it and I was trying to talk to him about it and like he was just not having it. And I'm like, my guy, this isn't my first time hearing Rosalia. Like, quit playing with me,
Right? I'm
please.
like, yo, turn that shit up, bro.
This is just my first time hearing this song. So yeah,
And they get so excited once they figure out, like, oh,
exactly. So yeah, Latin Grammys are happening on November 19th. And that's going to happen on Univision.
Mm-hmm.
Um at 8 p.m. And the theme for this year is music makes us human. Because Black Lives Matter reverberates everywhere.
Absolutely, especially through Latin culture.
I love that this article specifically says that Tiny is one of the people with multiple nominations.
Tiny is dope, man.
And
He's such a cool brother. Like, it's always good to see people. It's always good to see people that are good people. And
uh-huh.
shout out to my man Lex Barrero, long time grinder, in the South Florida, Miami scene, and worldwide. He's stamped his footprint on pop music and Latin music, especially. He manages Tiny. Just good folks, man. Just good folks that work hard to make good music. So,
Um and I'm going to hashtag the description for the show to bring all of you in. Y entonces quiero que ustedes saben que estoy aquí en mi casa peleando sola. So find your primo or your tío or whoever the fuck you need to send. Y dile que yo dijo que lo que. Not que lo que like Nas, but ya
not
tú
que
sabes.
lo que like Nas.
I also just found out that there's a Cuban tapas restaurant in East Atlanta that's owned by some black people, some black Cuban people.
Hey.
So we finna go. I'm about to tell y'all what it's called too, because the girl asked for us to retweet it in support of her family. And I did that. And so I might as well go ahead and tell y'all here. It is called Zun Zun, Zunzun.
Hey.
It is located at 479 Flat Shoals Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
I see Cuban sandwiches. They even have a chicken Cuban sandwich with no pork. They have a veggie Cuban sandwich. Yeah. They have empanadas. They have tostones. Hey. So we about to go check them out and see que lo que.
That's a must.
Alrighty. So then I see this article, two articles. So we just talked about how like the Latin Grammys had to have a come to Jesus moment about how they can't shut out Latin trap, Latin urban, whatever you want to call it, which is already it's weird to me that these are the names y'all come up with, but I mean, I guess it makes sense, right? Then I see an article that says, "Is The Weeknd pop, R&B, or hip hop? Why the distinction matters at the Grammys?"
Oh boy, we gonna have another Tyler this year?
Huh?
So are we gonna have another Tyler this year?
Probably.
We gotta fix the Grammys, man.
Right.
We gotta fix them because, well, they kicked out a bunch of folks. They got a lady in there running it. They've been trying to make some changes. This this will be the year that we judge them extra
Okay.
hard because
We don't judge them next year. We don't
they
give them a year to fuck
no
around with it.
nope, because they made those changes earlier in the year.
Okay.
So we expect, and you know, ever since I feel like ever since the Grammy So White and the Oscar So White year, um,
Mhm.
they've tried to make some strides, but hopefully they've got some folks in there that really know what the hell they're doing and know what they're talking about.
Mhm.
Because the fact that Tyler was nominated in the rap category last year was just a complete slap in the face to Tyler, also, who had an amazing album that should have went up with the best people because it was one of the best albums of the year, bar none. Um,
Right.
and there was no fucking rap on that album, bro. It was literally him singing
Right.
the
And he
whole
said
damn
that.
time.
So in this article, they interviewed um Daniel Glass, who is a founder of Glass Note Records, which is the label that Childish Gambino was, maybe still is on.
Okay.
And he was talking about how, when Childish Gambino first came out, that they didn't promote his music as black music. Or, like they didn't promote it as anything in particular.
Right.
They just kind of put it out there through quote unquote alternative outlets. Um, it's interesting that I think in certain circles, urban music is still kind of the lesser, it seems like.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I was wondering why the fuck Jason Derulo was back in our faces so much. And I just realized that stupid song from the TikTok challenge was his song. Because I was really trying to figure it out. Like I wasn't gonna go find out. I wasn't about to go find out what the hell Jason Derulo was singing, but all of a sudden he's everywhere again. It's just really interesting that there are certain artists that never touch urban who are black. And then there are other artists who touch urban just long enough to pop off and then they disappear over to the other side. Um, Urban radio will play the fuck out of a record like what was that Disclosure song that they loved with Sam Smith? Now I've got you in my skin. Latch. Is that what it was called?
Oh
Latch?
yeah, yeah. I don't remember the name, but that joint was popping.
That was my joint. But like urban radio will do that every 4 or 5 years ago. I remember when I was in high school, it was All That She Wants by Ace of Base. Like it's so weird that we're doing that. And then on the flip side of it, you got urban outlets running an article that says Machine Gun Kelly addresses the notion that he abandoned hip hop. While the urban site is saying this, I'm listening to the Daily Beast, I think it was, do a whole article where Machine Gun Kelly is like, no, I kind of grew up on everything and I've kind of always been everything. And just because y'all met me as a rap artist doesn't mean that I can't do other stuff. It doesn't mean that I can't go back and forth between them.
And last week we just listened to a song with Machine Gun Kelly rapping, period. So, my issue with this urban has always been my issue, right? Urban is the way that we allow ourselves to get pigeonholed and paid less and given less respect. It's a disrespectful name. And we gotta accept the fact that it's a disrespectful name. The problem with us is we try to own shit. Like when people give us labels, we try to own the labels people give us. We try to like make the positive out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And what we do is we end up damaging ourselves further. Because then what happens is we get caught in that lane. And it's like, okay, oh, well, you don't want to be urban? No, motherfucker, I don't want to be urban. Not that I want to be urban, like I don't want to be black. I don't want to be underpaid. I don't want to be underrespected. You know what I'm saying? My music is my music. Every black person don't make the same type of music,
Right.
but
Or listen to the same type of music.
they're all pushed to make the same type of music. So when you have somebody like a Machine Gun Kelly or Post Malone, and we've touched on this earlier, or a Yellow Wolf, and they have Southern roots, Southern backgrounds, and they might sing, do rock, do Southern rock. They might do country music as well as rap. That's normal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you're a black person and you grew up listening to different types of music, everybody wants you to just be urban. They just want you to be urban. That's it. Well, why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? Then we get a label like, oh, he's alternative, he's different. Then your own people don't accept you. You know, and that's why Childish Gambino, you know, he understands that concept. Like, man, listen, you know, I was typecast and outcast by my own folks.
Right.
Even to this day, people don't, you know, he ain't got no hood pass. You know, and
Right.
that's why
They'd
his
be like,
show,
he from Stone Mountain, and we'd be like, is he
but
though?
that's why his show is so good
Are you sure he's not from Lawrenceville?
because it's literally him showing that in on TV in his own way, telling his story. Like, y'all don't really fuck with me because that's
And
what
there are a
Atlanta's
lot more,
about.
and there are a lot more kids like Childish Gambino in Atlanta than you realize.
Absolutely, it's a lot more kids like that around the world. We
Yeah.
gotta stop. Here's the thing: we don't want to be pigeonholed, but then we pigeonhole ourselves because once again, we try to claim the negative and we try to turn the negative into a positive. No, my nigga, let that shit go. Let it go. Pop means popular music. We've been making popular. This is why we lost rock and roll. That's why we lost all these other genres
Mm.
because we don't want to get typecast. We don't want to be pop. Oh, you know, we want to be make music, fam. Make music. Find your audience. If you want to make ghetto, if you want to make hood shit, you want to shoot somebody today and do gospel music tomorrow, do it.
Nah. You're taking it too
No,
far.
I'm not. I'm
Can't
not.
shoot people one day and then make gospel music the
Sure,
next
you
day.
can. You got to repent. Come on. You need Jesus in all situations. Whether you know what I'm saying. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that you should go shoot people. I'm just saying.
Right.
You know, if the mood strikes, because we are not we are not simple people. We're complex people. And our
We
art is complex and it should be complex, but they don't want our art to be complex. They want our art to be the run of the mill, typical nigga shit. And then when it's not, oh, he's different. Oh, he's alternative. Oh, he's this. Oh, he's that. And then even when you succeed, you get the haters. You get the haters
I mean, you're
primarily
gonna
from,
get haters anywhere.
but you get the haters primarily from your own community.
Yeah, that is true. All right, you guys. This show is being brought to you once again by Gangaroo Records and by The Remedy. Really, it's being brought to you by me and Sis.
Hey,
And Mikey. Shouts to
we
Mikey.
are doing an all ladies version of the pull up this weekend.
That sounds very promising. I'm
And
excited
it is
about it.
going to be absolutely ridiculous. We have called in all the big guns, all our homies who are absolutely bananas from all over the world. And I am super, super, super excited for this one.
Tell them again what the pull up is.
The pull up is our virtual showcase that we do every Saturday at 5 on Zoom. You can find it on all Bounce Gang channels. That's gang with a V, GVNG.
All right, let's get to this music. Oh, so look, right? I went on Facebook last week and I asked my friends what we were talking about, right? Who is making grown man R&B?
Mm-hmm.
And I say that because I feel like you picked these songs this week based on that. I don't know that you necessarily remembered that we even had that conversation.
Oh yeah, I did.
Okay. Is that why you picked these songs?
That's definitely why I picked Eric Bellinger.
Okay. So when my friends responded, of course, one of the people that responded was Eric Robeson's manager. So, you know, shouts to Jarrell, who I told him that Eric was the first person that came to my mind. But here's what my friends gave us. They gave us BJ the Chicago Kid, Luke James, Jesse Boykins, Miguel, Ro James, Fonte, Masego.
Fonte?
Yeah. Foreign Exchange. No, you forgot Fonte was the singer? Two? Fontegalo, new Tigalo. PJ Morton. Who else? Names that I hadn't seen. Raheem Devon is definitely still dropping music.
Did I see Kim?
Who?
Did I see Kim?
No. Yeah, somebody did say Kim.
Okay.
I be trying to act like Kim doesn't exist. I don't know why Kim bothers me so much. Sir, John Legend, and who else? Anderson .Paak. Somebody said Tony Sunshine, but clearly they had to be joking. But I don't ever know. I don't ever know what 2020. Tony
Sunshine. We not fucking with Tony Sunshine?
Huh?
We not fucking with Tony Sunshine no more?
Listen, might be. That 100% is still one of my favorite songs. And then you went and found Eric Bellinger, and I really enjoyed I enjoyed that song, One Thing Missing. I thought it was really cute. He interpolated Janet Jackson. What was the name of that song? And I just hope you have a good time. I'm not singing on this damn podcast no more, my nigga.
What was the name of that song?
I'm about to tell you.
Right anyway, it was kind of cute too.
It was called no, wrong song.
It was cute because it was about his wife.
Right.
So who was the
Lamia Good,
the sister of Megan Good, her big sister. Hey man, that man loves his wife and he sings about it. That's grown up.
That is grown man shit. And I was like, okay, I see it. Elsewhere on the grown man shit spectrum, Snoop Dogg is featured on Rare Essence's new single Hit the Floor, and Rare Essence is a go-go band.
Man, listen, let me tell you something.
Because Snoop is a 50-year-old man.
Go-go is one of the great Black American music genres in this country. DC is one of my favorite cities. And Rare Essence is iconic. If you ever heard Jay-Z,
it's called Runaway. I'm sorry, the Janet Jackson song was called Runaway.
Gotcha. If you ever heard Jay-Z's Throw Your Hands Up, Do It Again, he borrowed heavily from Rare Essence's Pancake House.
At 12 a.m. on my way to the club, right, 1 a.m. about to make it a rut.
Yeah, he jacked that from Rare Essence. If you watch The Wire, Slim Charles was actually Big G, the leader of Backyard Band. I used to hang out in Go-Go's in DC. Clearly, I did not care about my life, but I was there. But Go-Go's an amazing art form, man. And to see legends in Go-Go and Snoop get together and make this jam makes my Black boy heart so happy. So there we go.
So clearly, that French Montana record gave Sway Lee a whole African fan base. And Sway Lee said he gonna give you these Afro pop
records
joints until y'all tell him to stop.
And you know what? This is an easy listen. Like I kind of went in like, man, I'm gonna hate this song, but it's a very easy listen.
See, I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it.
Right. It's just it's just a smooth song.
Like if it came in on a playlist, I would let it rock.
Exactly. Like I could definitely hear this in like the Gap. Like walking through the mall into like a random like department store.
No, is Sway Lee boy Lizzo now?
He might be. I mean, I think he might have been.
That's a great place to be, honestly.
He might have been boy Lizzo before Lizzo though.
Oh, so Lizzo is girl.
He just had to get away from Slim Lee.
All right, let me see where else we're gonna jump in with this because I want to save Travis Scott for last.
Save MIA.
Speaking of Snoop, apparently last year Snoop was featured on Diamond D's album The Dime Piece 2, and it was a song called Turn It Up featuring Case. Case is also a name that was mentioned on my list of R&B, and I was like, come on, man. Come on, man. When Case dropped the new song?
Right. Touch me.
Stop it. Let's see. Where else? Oh, Ari Lennox dropped a joint called Chocolate Pomegranate, and I wanted to go and listen to it because I really love Ari. An interesting thing happened. I played the song and I realized that I didn't, when I thought about going to listen to the song, I forgot what Ari Lennox's voice sounds like. Um, Not that it's a bad voice, it's just not, I don't know. I don't know what I thought I was about to hear or who I had in mind. Then I clicked on the song and chocolate pomegranate is evidently some euphemism for her cooch.
She's
And I just
nasty.
wasn't prepared.
She's so nasty.
But it's good to know what the kids are calling it these days. Um who else we got? Who else we got? We got Boz and Girl Talk. I don't know who Girl Talk is. I'm a friend of Boz. I mean a
So
fan of
I
Boz.
think we saw we had a record featuring Girl Talk. I
Right.
want to
And we
say
might
last
talk
week.
about who is Girl Talk.
It was like
He's a DJ?
three artists. Yeah, Girl Talk's a dude, by the way.
A DJ specifically. A white man named Greg Michael Gillis.
Shout out to Greg Michael Gillis.
So I guess that was Boz rapping on the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Girl Talk was also vocalizing.
Yeah, I gotta remember that the record we did last week had Girl Talk on it. It was like three other people in Girl Talk.
Um, who else we got this week? I enjoyed that one. Um, Bia. This is gonna go on the September. I mean, shit. October
October.
update of I know I got this playlist that I made of like just girls who rap and who embody all of the things that I am, which is sophisticated and ratchet, which is I wear glasses, but I also twerk in my kitchen, which is I love Rhapsody, but I also really enjoy screaming out, ice me the fuck out, nigga, for no reason.
Hey, listen, not give you buck.
You got to be ready to fight. So Bia got a new joint with Lil Durk called Same Hands. And the hook is like I break down these drugs with the same hands I fix to pray with.
See,
Both of them. It's the essence.
see, that's what I'm talking
Exactly
about.
where we are in life.
So
Exactly where in life.
I am a huge fan of Bia.
Me too.
I believe she's from the New England area, Boston suburb. Um, Pharrell founder. She's on the show Sisterhood of Hip Hop. I feel like she's super underrated. Like, I mean, she's got a fan base. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm.
she's out here doing her thug thizzle, but um, I just want to see her get that breakthrough look because she's fire. Like, she could spit her concepts. Like, I love the concepts of her songs. All of her songs always have some kind of concept. She's very into metaphors and things like that. So I think she's super dope. Yeah.
Yes.
So Pharrell, man, make sure you get
Is
B
she
out
still
there,
signed to
bro.
him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it does say I am mother. She is from Medford, Massachusetts, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
This other article says Boston born, so I'm assuming Medford is a suburb of Boston. And Boston has my girl Lyric Jones is from Boston. My girl Dutch Rebel is from
Oh, I
Boston.
love her.
I love
You see her,
Dutch.
tell her I
Yeah,
love
y'all
her.
know that's my little cousin.
Is she?
Yeah, I mean not in real life, but
Tell her
like
I
it's
know.
only a
I
handful of
know.
Haitians that I claim.
Tell her I said hi.
I absolutely
Yo,
claim her.
it's a couple dope Haitian artists up there. Um, on the lady side. I didn't know Boston had the whole Haitian thing going on.
Oh no. Like back in the day, like if you're Haitian, there's a Haitian city roulette back in the day, right? If you're Haitian and you have family in the States, your family is going to guaranteed be in, or outside of Haiti, your family is going to guaranteed be in four cities, and then there's three possibles. The four guaranteed are New York, Boston, Miami, and Montreal.
Got you. Got you.
And then your possibles are DC, Chicago, Paris, but now Atlanta, because a lot of the Canada, Boston, New York Haitians And some of the Chicago Haitians have moved to Haiti, you know, like our parents' age, have moved to Haiti to get away from that weather.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
So
a ton
okay,
of Haitians
you
Boston.
also shout out to my girl Nancy. I believe she's Haitian also, up there in Boston. She's a singer songwriter. Yeah. So
We out there. We out there. Sac passe to all my people. Um my friend Willie the Kid has been dropping a lot of music. Will, what's going on? Will just dropped a new joint called Cork Fee, excuse me, with Action Bronson. Cork Fee is some shit that like champagne aficionados would know and wine aficionados would know. And Will knows because Will actually makes champagne now.
wow.
Yeah, he has a line of champagne. And he also owns a restaurant and bar in his hometown, Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Gunru. Okay.
And so, you know, for the last few years, if you've been paying attention, Willie Kid just likes to get on records and floss and then go away and spend his money and come back and floss again. I appreciate it.
I think it's so interesting that he's from Grand Rapids.
Why?
I don't know. I just feel like I used to be a big Willie the Kid fan. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like sometimes people from places and it's not like historical hip hop places, and they don't get the respect that they should have. And like when you
Right.
find out, like, oh, okay, yeah, they was hating on him because he wasn't from like down the block. You
Right,
know?
right, right. Well, shit. Will works very, very hard for his. So for his respect. So I feel like this song with him and Action Bronson needs a which one of the Griselda guys is it with the gun?
With the gun, West
Yeah,
Side,
but the
West Side
doo.
Gun.
Yes, okay.
Do 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 do.
It just needs a West Side Gun feature on the remix. We'll make that happen. And second to last, but not least, Travis Scott said some years ago that his dream collaboration would be MIA. And he just dropped a song called Franchise featuring Young Thug and MIA. It's called Franchise because it interpolates In My White Tee by the Franchise Boys. Hashtag Atlanta influences everything.
Hey.
And Travis Scott filmed this video at Michael Jordan's mansion. Good night.
Let me tell you something. MIA is 45 years old.
God damn.
And look like she 22.
Her and what's her name? Vashti. Vashti like that too.
I was like, hold on, you was born when? 1975.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But Travis Scott got McDonald's to give him a deal over some shit that really wasn't no special meal. Got you motherfuckers going crazy to go
climbing
order
through windows,
already on the McDonald's menu anyway. McDonald's talking about some you can only order the burger if you order it from the app. Really? I can't just roll up and ask y'all for a quarter pounder with cheese and bacon?
Yeah, add some
really?
bacon to it. Like, really? Y'all act like y'all ain't got no secret menu.
Rung up Michael Jordan and said, hey, like to shoot a video at your house during the pandemic. And Michael Jordan said, all right, cool, pull up. I love Travis Scott a lot.
I love MIA.
I also love MIA, but I'm just in constant awe of Travis Scott. All right. Also, Gorillaz dropped a new joint called The Pink Phantom featuring Elton John and Six Lack Black.
Now listen.
His name is Black.
That record is not supposed to work.
Oh no, it absolutely feels like it would. Just because you said Gorillaz. Once you said Gorillaz, whatever else you throw in there, I'm gonna be like, I can see it.
And the way they put it on, like, it's dope because none of the artists conformed to each other. Elton John is doing Elton John.
Right.
And Black is doing Black. And they actually, at some point, are doing it at the same time. And it works perfectly.
I just want to remind y'all that this is the second time that we've had proof that Elton John is a real nigga. Because Elton John Elton John pulled up to play a little bit of keys and do 2 ad libs on All of the Lights and then went about his business.
Mm-hmm.
Elton John's a real nigga.
Oh, he probably said he's a
Um,
real bitch, but you know.
whoa, hey. Um, so let me set this up properly. Hold on a second. Hold on. Because I be wanting to like really use people's full names when they're brave. One, come on, man. That's not what I asked you to search for, Google. What the hell? One, Mark Sinclair, professionally known as Vin Diesel, American actor, filmmaker, and now singer and musician.
And
Released his
sometimes
debut
Negro.
single today. Huh?
Sometimes Negro.
Part Negro?
Kinda Negro.
Suspicious mulatto.
Negro-ish.
Blackish? That's a thing now.
Mixed-ish.
Dropped a single. You're focusing on the wrong shit, sis. Dropped a pop record, dropped a dance record, but it's not like a it's a 3:45 a.m. on South Beach pop record.
Yeah. It's definitely like it's a CW sync record.
Oh man. It's a club scene in Younger on Freeform.
Right. It's Vampire Diaries.
You guys, what we're saying is it's not bad
at all. It's not bad at all.
And if you didn't tell us it was Vin Diesel, we'd just be like, okay, cool. It actually sounds like another artist. I just couldn't put the name. But it definitely does sound like some shit you would hear in a movie and not some shit you would hear like on the radio or at the actual club.
Until it got big.
It sounded like geriatric club music.
I would definitely, it would sound like something I would hear on like a soccer video game.
Or like a racing game. But I mean, again, like, listen, but let's focus on the positive. Let's put energy towards the shit that we want. Okay.
I like it. So
Vin Diesel dropped his debut record at the age of 53.
Why not? Because you can.
Mind you, he's had 9 Fast and Furiouses to get Luda to write some shit for him to jump in this bitch.
He been busy.
53 years old.
Ironically, Megan Thee Stallion's main producer, Lil Ju, got on Twitter and fixed his fingers to say that 31-year-old rappers need to quit and go have a family.
31.
So, 31. So my guy,
like a 20-year-old.
My guy Joe Da Vinci said that's not even old. And then I proceeded to let him know that Rick Ross came out with Hustling when he was 30. That Taheed Epps came out with Duffel Bag Boy when he was 31.
Which means he wasn't popping until he was about 30.
Did not drop his major label debut until 4 years later. My guy. Griselda, the whole squad is 35 and up. And they're popping like fish grease. And there's been tons of artists and people who have popped at an older age in all types of arts. So, and his response was, well, the labels told me they only looking for 24 and over. Who gives a fuck what the labels are looking for? Are you paying attention? In 2020, have you not been reading? Have you lost the plot?
So here's the thing. Houston, my homegirl posted something. My homegirl Sherelle, who's from Houston, posted a little Kiki song and was saying how in the 90s, when she was in high school, that you could really live in Houston and not listen to anything but Houston music. Absolutely. And that if it wasn't for BET, she wouldn't even know what the fuck any of these other songs that we be talking about from the 90s. She wouldn't know any of these songs. Like, this is somebody who legit said to me, and I believe her, that she had never really heard like any Wu-Tang shit till she left Houston, right? That's how it was in the 90s.
Something that happened today that was really funny is I want to say that it's Microblog or Microtape. Mark Sorcinelli, he does a lot of like really really underground like articles, talks about like old school stuff. But he did an article on DJ Screw, and apparently Screw was the guy who was putting the other rappers in the city onto those people outside of the
Yeah.
city, like Redman and all those other cats. So shout
And
out to
that was
Screw.
what Sherelle said too. If you were from outside of Houston and you wanted your song to blow in Houston, it had to get chopped and screwed.
Yep.
It had to. There was no other way it was going to get played into. It had to end up on a screw tape, and that was the only way that people were going to listen to
Yeah.
it. I think, and then I've mentioned before, maybe not on here, but I've mentioned before how I've had conversations with Paul Wall and with Slim Thug separately, where they talked about how when they all came out, when Paul Wall was signed to Atlantic and Thugger was signed to Star Trek, they all came out and they dropped their one album and they looked around and they were like, yeah, we're making less money out here with y'all than we were in Houston. Mm-hmm. And they went back to Houston.
Right.
And they've never stopped making music. I think this younger generation doesn't feel like Houston is enough. And I don't know if it's because there's not enough people doing it in Houston now, so it doesn't feel like as much of a scene as it did back then.
Absolutely, yeah. Houston now is a lot of those older people still in those power positions. Yeah. So the younger artists had to go do it their way. Travis Scott is a perfect example. Also, Kurt Cobain. Like those are two artists who did not do the Houston route. Right. They did not make the typical Houston music. They went and they did something. Kurt Cobain was a college kid. And he was around Rap a Lot Records and all those guys or whatever. But he did his own thing. He did his pop vibes. Mm-hmm. He didn't follow the little flips and all that. Not to say that those, because even if you look at Megan is clearly influenced by a lot of that stuff, but she's also very much now. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, but Travis Scott, man, listen. Would nobody in Houston going to co-sign Travis Scott? Travis Scott went out and did his own thing, and now the city love him for it. But make no mistake, he's not what Houston would have put out.
Right, exactly. And so I could see where Jew would give a fuck what labels think, but then also I can't because Jew been getting money for a minute.
But I mean, I can see it. But here's the thing: he's been getting money from that structure, and that's the thing. Like, when your money is coming from a source.
No. I'm saying he was getting money in Houston before Meg blew up and he started getting this industry.
He was, but the industry checks is different.
Of course.
It feels secure. You know what I'm saying? If you've been looking for security, you've been hustling your whole life, and you find that one connect that you think is the plug, you're going to defend the plug. And I feel like he's defending the plug because he don't know better. And it goes back to what you said, there's a very particular, and I love Houston. Shout out to Houston. I'll be there very soon. I'm in the streets in Houston, and they have a mentality. They have a complete mentality, just like every other city that's not one of these major cities has a mentality. The crazy thing is Houston had a moment where they were like Atlanta. Like they had their moment when they were like on top. Mm-hmm. But it went away real fast because they couldn't.
Well, it went away real fast because they were not interested.
Well, not even because they weren't interested. It also went away because they couldn't get over their beefs. They couldn't unify the way Atlanta did. Like in Houston, if you're from one side of town, if you're from the north side, you don't fuck with the south side.
Right.
And that's that. Like on God, like on sight. Like it was serious. So, and it's one of the reasons why New York lost it. When you have division, and it's not to say that they don't have division here in Atlanta, but there's no outward division when it's time to cut the checks.
There's one segment of Atlanta that gets a lot of attention, and that segment is fairly unified, and there's no outward division with that segment of Atlanta.
No, absolutely. But I mean, enough to keep the city rolling. Now, I'm talking about in R&B. I'm talking about all the studios. Like if you go to a studio in the studio area where all the studios are, you're going to see the who's who of rappers.
Right.
If you was in Hot Beats, you was going to see all the traffic coming through, everybody in there working together, this, that, and the third. You knew people had beef and there was little issues, and even when Tip and was beefing with people, and when Luda and Jeezy and But still, when it was time for the video shoot, when International Players Anthem was like, hey, look, we need to get together and make this video happen. People who ain't like each other came together and they shot the video and they made the city look good. And they
Yes.
all was yelling the A. Okay. I didn't know about regional beefs in the A until I got here.
You're right. Atlanta is very good at hiding their secrets.
Now, in New York,
like it be whole gang wars going on down the street from my house, and I have no idea.
Absolutely. But in New York, you knew all about their beefs. It was all on, oh yeah, rock them Brooklyn. You knew all about it. You knew all about what neighborhoods didn't like what neighborhoods, and you can't come to Tompkins, and you can't come through Marcy, and this, that, and third. Like, we knew about that before we knew about anything else. We knew Queens and Brooklyn had problems, and Harlem don't mess with none of y'all, and it was just the way it was. So that lack of unity is a big thing in keeping an industry together. And
well, I just want to say to Lil Jew, and I may text this to him. 30's not old
at all.
And I do want to say that if you're 40, well, no shit, Vin Diesel just changed that. I was gonna say if you're 40 and you're still trying to make it, then you might want to hang it up. But apparently, no.
But
no. The
whole go get your family
because
thing,
Vin Diesel was already. But
the whole go get your like. First of all, you don't know what else those people got going on. You know what I'm saying? Like some people, because of his experiences, maybe his family wasn't supportive of his dreams or whatever he was doing.
Who, Vin Diesel?
No, I'm talking about Lil Jew.
Okay.
Maybe he doesn't know that to be.
I don't think so because, like I said, he's been active in Houston since like high school.
But that don't mean nothing. Being active, I mean, I'm talking about to them. Being active in your city is just like I was active in Philly, but that ain't mean shit until I went to New York and they validated me. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, oh, okay, this is the real.
So if you were actually getting paid for your music when you were in Philly, would you still feel that way?
But yeah, absolutely. Because once again, like only the OGs in Houston are okay. The younger people, they trying to get out here and get recognized. And they can't. And they feel like the older folks is holding them down to a degree. Not co-signing them or whatever. There's a rift, between the older folks and the younger movement. A lot of it might just be because there's no actual ties, but that's the vibe of the city. From the city. Shout out to my guy Dante Higgins, Breadwinners, they all good folks. They got Paul on tapes and all this and all that. I've been out there with Flip and everything, but when Houston lost it, the kids had to figure out their own way. The Sauce Walkers, all that. Sauce Walker is the man. Like he don't got to do nothing outside of but you're not stamped if you didn't pop. Especially nowadays, it's not enough. Especially in the social media age, it's not enough to just be the man in your area, just the man on your block, so.
Yeah. Well, I will say this, that ageist mindset comes from the fact that, as we've mentioned before here and elsewhere, that this is a youth culture movement that has been around for 40 years. And so people, over 40 years. And so people our age, people our OGs, the people that were in it, the people that were teenagers when you and I were born, they don't want to let this go and they don't have to. And, I urge us again, the same way that we tell the old people to tell the young people, like, you don't have to, it's a blessed coincidence that Megan Thee Stallion makes a song and I, as a 40-year-old woman, can enjoy it. Right. But she's not making music for me. Mm-hmm. She's not. Bia, I can enjoy the song. Bia's not making music for me. Like, I'm literally, I try to make a joke to the damn cashier at the gas station about my eyesight the other day. She was like, yeah, my mom is the same way. And I was like, oh, yeah, well, if you're 22, you could be my kid.
But even beyond that.
But I still don't want nobody starting their rap career at 40. I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't think anybody's going to start rapping at 40. I don't think anybody's going to be like, you know what? I'm just going to start rapping today at 40.
Although, if somebody wants to ghostwrite some records for me, I might be convinced.
But if they decided to, I'm cool with that because music is a passion thing, right? And when we try to tell people what they can do and can't do inside of a culture, it's weird. And don't know other genres sit around and say, you know what, you can't pick up a guitar at 45 and start playing rock and roll.
No, but people will, you will have a harder time if you're starting to make that your career at 45.
Not really, not in that genre. Don't nobody care. They care. You just gonna find your audience. So there's content versus age, right? If you make something like Tawheed Epps, who came out with Dope Boy music, he didn't appeal to just his age group. At 35, he was appealing to children.
Right.
Kids was listening to him. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, everybody's timeline is different.
So, okay, well, I'll say this. Then let's leave it at this. Whenever you decide to do it, make some shit that's authentic to you, because people fuck with 2 Chainz because 2 Chainz was making music that was authentic to who the fuck he was. And if you saw 2 Chainz do a show, well, not them first shows, them early shows was a little cringeworthy. But by the end of that first year after Spend It came out, or after Riot came out, 2 Chainz. Oh shit! Riot doesn't even come up under 2 Chainz because Riot was released as Titty Boy.
Right. I eat your girl up for breakfast.
Oh man, that's so funny. Like, it's not on here. That's crazy. Okay. Anyway, Spend It came out in
2011, 2010.
2011.
That's when the True Religion mixtape came out.
Spend It came out. You would go and you would see 2 Chainz perform, and he was having a good ass time on stage. That's what made me fuck with him. Tall ass with his random ass, goofy ass, lanky arms waving all over the place. But he was enjoying it. This was music that he was actually making, not because somebody told him that this is what the kids wanted to hear, not because somebody told him that he needed to make a so-and-so like record, a Lil Wayne type record, or whatever. He made the shit that made sense for him. And I think that's the difference. It's the same thing with Griselda, right? They're making music that makes sense to them.
Yeah,
that's authentic to who they are. No, that's authentic to who they are.
But even Griselda said, don't put us in a box because we don't just do one thing.
Right. They're making music that's authentic to them, whatever that means.
And ultimately, everyone should do that no matter how old you are, because 10-year-olds come out and try to do something. I'd venture to say young people copy more than anybody, because they don't know who the fuck they are, and they're more heavily influenced by what's going on around them. So, ultimately, yes, that is the goal. The goal is to make the music that's good to you. The overarching point is ageism is not cool. It's very much a black thing, and we need to stop that shit.
It's not just a black thing.
It is very much a black art thing. Show me the ageism in rock and roll. Because Ozzy Osbourne is damn near on his deathbed, and he's still putting out albums.
Yeah, but he's putting out albums. Young kids ain't listening to it.
Why aren't they? I saw a concert in LA at the Hollywood Bowl, and that shit was jam-packed, and they had all types of folks. Music is music outside of it, like I said. And I'll say this shit until I die. And my skin black as the dirt, and I grew up in North Philly. But niggas is the worst of niggas. And we spend more time criticizing folks, telling people what they should do and can't do. And it's all based on perception that's given to that we can't do certain things. And it's something that lives within our culture. Ageism is a hip-hop thing. And maybe it's because of the age of hip-hop or whatever. But like you said, my dad and his group, his time period, they was the first hip-hoppers.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, the issue is, like, I think it may be less of an issue elsewhere because you're not pitting people against each other in the same space. Well, you know what I'm saying? It's also because Ozzy Osbourne may be dropping new music currently, but I don't think he's being weighed against whoever the new young hot people are.
But I mean, it's also because of the
age. There's only one radio station for rappers. You understand what I'm saying? Like, no matter who you are.
Okay. So right, but that doesn't necessarily, so that even further exacerbates the problem, right? Like, okay, if there's only one, well, now you got these boom stations, right? Because rap's not 10 years
But even the
old
boom
anymore.
stations are only playing old music. They're not playing new music by old niggas.
Right. They're playing because those people, Jay-Z's music, like that catalog is now older. Rap's not 10 years old anymore. It's not 20 years old. It's not 30 years old. So the audience is not all the same age, which also means that the creatives are not always going to be the same age. Right. But
Right.
it's not so much content driven. Like, I know old people that are as ghetto and ratchet and out here in the streets as anybody at the age of 19, 20. They institutionalized. They go to jail for fun. And they make a rap song and they out here with their baggy clothes on acting like a damn fool. And I might look at them and be like, man, you need to grow up. No, that's who that person is. And if that's what they doing, if that's authentic to them and they put out a damn rap song, then that's cool. Anybody who like that rap song, they can listen to it. I'm
So
not gonna
again,
tell
open the
somebody what they
lanes,
should do and
man.
shouldn't do. I just think that's a weird thing when we start trying to police people's creativity and what you should do. You shouldn't do this, do that. Mind your
Well,
fucking business,
no.
dog.
People
How
have
about
been
that?
policing people have been policing creativity and critiquing art and
Well,
music,
no,
particularly
that's
since
fine.
the
I don't care if somebody came out with something you was like, yo, that's whack. But
no, I'm talking about
you trying to tell a set of people what they should and shouldn't do. It's clown behavior. And
right,
if there's
but
something
what
deeper there,
but
then that's cool. We can have the conversation. And here's a good thing. With all the people, well, not a lot of people follow him, but with the people that follow him,
wow.
it didn't gain traction. Because I feel like most people were like, bro, what you talking about? Like, people are tired of that argument, especially in the black community, especially in hip hop. Because hip hop is not a child's game. Literally, we still out here listening to Pusha T. We still happy for Nas albums, and it's not just old people listening to that.
Right.
Drake been the man for a decade and a half. If Drake drop a song right now, everybody gonna go listen to that shit.
Drake is 35.
35, exactly. That's old in hip hop terms. Big, according to Lil Ju, Lil Wayne still out here putting out music and can
And
still
refusing
garner
to cut
people's
his hair.
attention. So ultimately,
I just want somebody to cut Wayne's hair
when 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 Little Jew gets to be in
or
5 years,
retwist it.
I guarantee you he won't have that same energy.
He won't. I mean,
I
he probably
guarantee
doesn't
it.
have it now. But it's still, I would still like to say that there's definitely, and I guess it doesn't matter as much anymore because we've talked about how music discovery has become a much more independent sport. But there's definitely a need for us to reiterate the fact that like Nas can exist and pick a little, any little NLE Choppa can exist
Absolutely.
and they don't have to compete. I can like them both. I can like neither. I can like one and not the other. If I prefer Nas, that doesn't make NLE Choppa whack and vice versa.
Hmm.
Like that part, I will say, and I will agree with you.
But
Like
what
I
you're
still,
starting to see a lot of cross pollination between those artists. It's funny that you brought up NLE Chopper because he done turned into an enlightened young rapper
God bless
and
him. He's fucking 12.
wants to work with a lot of those OGs. I mean, I just feel like hip hop needs more connection between our generations and less of this I'm over here and you over there because it's divisive. No matter what you say, how they say it, it turns out to be divisive. And we already, as black people, have a huge gap because of crack and jail and all these other things that have fucked up our families and our communities. And that's why old heads and young heads look at each other crazy. So that's why somebody like Lil Ju feels like, and I understand the energy. I understand where it comes from. You feel like that was cool to say. He said it tongue in cheek, and he didn't think that another person in his age group, because my man Joe Da Vinci is in his age group, was going to be like, nah, fam, you tripping.
I mean, I can't imagine that Jew is that far from 30 anyway. But
Probably not
again,
at this point, but
again, you started doing music in high school, so you feel like you've been doing it for a really long time.
a lot of people
Go
have
ahead.
started. Nobody's. I doubt very seriously that anybody just said, you know what, I'm 45. I'm going to write my first rap song today.
I mean, I was gonna say I would consider it, but I definitely wrote my first rap song in 1997.
Okay, and that's normal for most of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of folks are just casual with it.
But I mean, if Two Gun Sis gonna let me get a feature,
Man,
and
listen.
somebody gonna write this verse for me. I got delivery, bro.
Okay, well, let's do it.
I'm not getting on one of your songs. I'm not even gonna play around in your actual serious craft like that. Hey guys, we've gone like ridiculously over time, but it's our 40th motherfucking episode, so we could do that shit. You know what I'm talking about?
Fucking time. You know what I'm saying?
Goddamn, you know what I'm talking about? And
now I'm talking about.
It's been 2 hours and some change of, I think good conversation.
And y'all ain't even gonna make it this far, so whatever.
They're here. They're with us. They're gonna pause it, go do something, and come back. We're still gonna be in the car when they get back in the car from the gym.
Absolutely.
But we thank you if you've listened to 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, or the whole 2 hours and 20 minutes.
We are very appreciative.
We didn't get to talk about albums this week because we talked about songs and we talked about life and we talked about sports.
It's
sports conversation led by Ty.
I'm just gonna say that the one album I'm looking forward to just to talk about is Savage Mode 2. Savage Mode 2.
Oh yeah, that's right. That is dropping today.
Yep. So
tomorrow, whichever.
Yep.
That's the only one you're looking forward to?
That's the main one I'm looking forward to.
Hey guys, I really feel like September is going to be the month where we go back to reviewing albums.
October.
Fuck! God damn it! Shit! It is October.
It is October.
I don't even know what this month is without A3C. I'm sorry. I can't even get the word October out my mouth.
Yeah, A3C. Didn't happen. So many things didn't happen this year.
So many things, but I feel like this one hurts the most because this has been the most consistent. Like I've been doing South by for 6-7 years.
But no, A3C is
for the first time last year, although it was a wonderful time. What else do I do?
You ever seen like when a cat finally gets out the house and it just freezes and it's just looking around like I don't even know what the fuck is happening?
Is that what they do?
That's what they do. That's how I'm gonna be when this pandemic is over.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit dropping today. Like a lot of shit. All right, so I'm gonna run through this real quick. 21 Savage and Metro Boomin, Savage Mode 2. Aloe Black drops today. Bon Jovi got a new album out today. Bryson Tiller's dropping Anniversary today. Blackpink, I hear that this is a big deal in the K-pop world.
Mm-hmm.
Their album, The Album, is coming out today. Let's see, who else? Groove Armada. When the last time you heard that word? That name?
It's been a while.
Mariah Carey, The Rarities, that's coming out today. Queen and Adam Lambert are dropping their live album today. Rascal Flatts out today. Sa-Rock, the Sharecropper's Daughter, that's out today. Smoke DZA dropping. Westside Gun dropping. Willie the Kid dropping. YG dropping.
Yes, that YG is definitely dropping. Mm-hmm.
Y'all got music to listen. Listen, niggas is about to, like, every Friday in October is fucking loaded. I'm looking at this calendar right now. Nuts. Nuts. I'm waiting for they to drop their album. That's coming out on the 23rd. All right, guys, it's gonna do it for us today. Yeah. I think we've talked about all the things.
Hey.
As always, he is at Scissor215 on
she is at Saint Boogie on everything, and we appreciate the fact that y'all love our new colorway because we do too. Shout out to my man Mini Monsters on the logo. Appreciate you, big bro. Shout out to Anatomy, Mikey,
our producer,
Bad Bunny.
We can't do this without him at all. And yeah, make sure you're following at the Chop Block Pod on Twitter, at Chop Block Pod on Instagram, the Chopping Block Podcast on Facebook, thechopblock.com. Wash your motherfucking hands and cover your mouth because it's still Corona season, you bastard.
COVID season, y'all. Be safe.
We'll see you next week.
Que lo que.